Okay, I am live now. I am live now. And you know what we do when we're live? We start the background music. Oh, that sounds so nice to me. There we go. Hi, oh, I see we already have someone in the chat. Majin X. Low key are cooking street. Yeah. I see. Oh, I see. There's a. I think my title of the stream is very. I don't know. What's the right word for using modern words? Modern slang. I actually only today did I know what LWK means, low key. I didn't know that until today. I had to look it up. As an amateur linguist, I love learning new words people are using and how they're using them and slang. Because I think you can have a lot of fun with language. Okay, let me just tell the Discord crew that I am online. Let's see, get shareable link. And live now. Live and on camera. Am I in the right? Yeah. Okay. Stream ping. Okay. Discord crew should know I'm here. Let me just make sure. Well, thanks for joining the stream, Agent X. Is that a reference? Is that a Dragon Ball reference? I'm curious. It looks like it. Let me get my show notes ready as well. Let's see. Show notes. There we go. We'll give it a few minutes, let people join in the stream. I think we have at least one person from Discord who said they're going to join. So let's see. So as the title of the stream, I do try to keep up with what's going on. I don't spend my entire day literally working on tablets. I do participate in society, and you know, it's funny how when you're using social media, certain things get pushed your way, but you don't know the context behind them. But you're just intrigued by, you know, in a linguistic sense, you're just intrigued by the words that are used. And you may have noticed that the title of today's stream is Tabletmaxxing and nib smashing. And no one, I think someone said it was a very clickbaity title, which I agree with. Oh no, and one of my Discord crew can't make it. Well, that's a good thing about streaming. I can always do it later. So I heard these days people are using maxing a lot. And like something called looksmaxing, which I guess makes sense. I think I've heard maxing in other contexts, but the thing that I hear about it right now is looksmaxing. And I've seen people use it in, you know, sort of slide it into other uses. Hi, Mad Max. Thanks for joining us. And then I think in the field of looksmaxing, there's an activity called, this is a real thing apparently, bone smashing, where someone like takes a hammer and I guess they hit themselves in the face to make the bone grow. Look, I don't know if that's real or an exaggeration, but that's the basis for today's title. Tabletmaxxing and nib smashing. I thought I'd give it an exciting works title. Loki, why are you way older than that? Way older than that, Majin. So, but yeah, I wanted to give it a little more contemporary title. So who knows, maybe I'll play around with that a little bit more. Drawmaxing. Yes, Mir. Hey, thanks for joining us, Mir. Good to see you. This, I thought, was my first stream in 2026. It's actually my second stream. But my first one was actually on January the 1st, where I think we just chatted. And I have been, some of you, I know a couple of people have asked me why I haven't streamed in a while. And the reason is I was sick. I was sick on literally on January the 3rd. No, 10th. Is that 10th? Sorry. No, 3rd. On January the 3rd, I just came down with, I guess, a flu or something, and I still would have streamed. I don't mind if I have a fever, but I was coughing a lot, and my voice did not sound normal. I couldn't speak correctly. So I just thought it would just be weird to have a stream. So I'm recovered now. I have just a few remnants of the feeling. A little bit of coughing, but I'm basically actually someone's got it. So yeah, I didn't want to show you a bad time. Maxing is I'm going to spontaneously come up with the definition of maxing. That's a great question, Mad Max. It is taking something, and like any activity or thing that you possess, and increasing it to its ultimate level. Yeah, I like what Majin says here. To fully devote to something, say looks maxing. Yeah, so there's gosh, I don't want to say the people's names because you don't know what kind of trouble they get into. But there's a very popular, I don't know if popular is the right word, a notorious young man. I think he's really young. I think he's like 20, and he's a looks maxer, and it's all about just making yourself look good, right? And so he just does everything to make himself look good and be, you know, physically fit, which I can salute that. But I think he is the reason people have popularized this term, looks maxing. Now, why did I pick Tabletmaxxing is in one of the Discord threads, and I'm going to show you the numbers in a second, if I can find it. Yeah, so someone asked me how many pens I have, right? And I did make a video on my YouTube channel, English Night for, yeah, it's a new word to me, or a new expression. Let me find out the numbers. So, you know, because everyone asked me how I come up with the name 7 Pens, and I'd say I had 7 pens when I started, which was true. And actually, I have my latest count right now, so everyone knows, I have 136 pens and 112 tablets. And those tablets do not include iPads or Samsung Galaxy Tabs. So the number is actually just a little bit higher, okay? So yeah, it's a large number. So that's where I got, since I'd heard this phrase called looks maxing, and I just thought, I must be a tablet maxer. Okay, Majin has a good question. Low key, how much is your tablet and digital art accessories worth? Okay, so I did an analysis of my spending over the last 4 years, and on tablets themselves, just themselves, I'm not even talking about the pens, the additional pens I bought, I have spent $40,000. Okay, so roughly speaking, I have spent $10,000 a year on tablets. And that's in the last 4 years. And why did how does one spend $10,000 a year, $40,000 in that amount of time? It's pretty easy because first I was looking at a lot of tablets. I was trying a lot of new tablets, okay? So I bought just for that reason. And normally I'd use Wacom for several decades. I decided to explore a little bit of XP Pen. So, you know, the selection of tablets to look at was big. And I don't use review units or gift units. I just buy the tablets, okay? Because I think, even though I don't mind when people get review units or gift units, I but I want you to be sure that you're just getting an enthusiast voice who's looking at the tablets, right? There's no reason for me to say anything good or bad. This is just, that's why I don't call myself a tablet reviewer. In fact, this channel really is not about tablets, oddly enough. It is really just about digital art and actually creative technology in general, but we talk about tablets since that's the first topic I started with, and I didn't realize how deep it was. You're going to open a tablet and pen museum one day? Yeah, I do have my room with my collection. I am thinking about how to, first just get everything off the floor. Okay, everything, literally all my tablets are stacked neatly on the floor. But I want to sort of put them in shelving. And some of them are really collector's items, which brings me to my next reason why I have so many tablets, which is, I've been using a Wacom since like 1994, 1995. And over the years, when I'd get a new Wacom, I would either gift the old Wacom, or sometimes it just got lost or thrown away. And I got my channel, I realized it's really good for me to be able to have some of these old ones around so that I can see how they're different from the new ones. And of course, that sort of bled into me wanting to have the full Wacom collection. So right now, Wacom's professional tablet line begins with the SD series, which is from the 1980s. I have bought in the last 4 years almost every Wacom professional pen tablet that exists. Okay, not just each series, each size of every series. Okay, I only have a couple left to get, and so I get them on eBay. So that's another reason why you get these huge numbers, right? Hi, Mix Pope. I hope I said that correctly. Or is it Poppy? But I'll say Mix for now. Imagine, who's your favorite member in the... Oh, come on. We don't play favorites here. I'll tell you some of the... I'll tell you some people I love interacting with on Discord. There's 3 Polygons or Brushoid, which I haven't seen in a while, so I hope 3 Polygons, Brushoid. If you're seeing this stream, I just want to let you know I would love to see you again and more in the Discord. I just want to make sure you know that the invite is always available. We love you. We'd like to just see more of you. You're an amazing contributor to the discussion we have. So let that be known that you are more than welcome to spend more time with us. We love you. So that's one person I just want to call out. Mir is a great one. Mir is a great one. We'll actually mention the topic Mir brought up later in the stream. Mir can probably guess. Mir's great. Someone left our Discord recently, or not recently. I think it was maybe a month ago. Ascot Skitsy. Missed that guy. He was wild. I love that. Lots of energy. Love his art too. Of course, Cube, who's the tablet expert. I love interacting with him. I learn a lot from Cube. Not only is a good technical resource, like he provides great feedback on my stuff. And he has a lot of knowledge about a lot of things. And actually that's something I'll say about his server and him. He's relatively young compared to me, and I'm just surprised how many topics these young people know about very deeply. It really stuns me. So that's really kind of refreshing and quite energizing to see. Who else? Koyo. The Discord would not run without Koyo. Okay. He is the bedrock of the Discord inside, and he's a mod, and he takes modding very seriously. He's very active. He's thinking about how the community works, and again, he's just one of those very engaged people. Mihao, another mod, love. There's so many people I would say I just love. Hey Nim, Atnas, Nokd. I mean, there's just so many people there. But those are some I wanted to call out because, when you think about who's really talking the most, these are the people like I just get a lot of energy from. Okay. And if I think of any, because I'm looking scroll. Oh, Cami Luna, of course, Cami Luna. We can't forget Cami Luna, and Hera. Right? Did I miss anybody? Kanto. Yeah, there's a lot of activity on the Discord. I think I may need to create a new channel because we're just I get lost on the conversations. Nick, Tyler, who else? I'm just looking through who else. Fade. Oh yeah, Ranger Fade. He's awesome. Keep looking here. If any more people I want to call out. I don't want to miss anybody and have them be angry at me. I want everyone to be loved and recognized. Intuos Pro 2025 hater. I know, that's the name. He's been great. Jessica, she's been awesome. Who else we have here? Memodraw. Yeah, there's too many to say a favorite. Kanto, Happy New Year. Okay, so let's just say that. Happy New Year, everyone. I will do a setup tour, Majin, one day. I will, absolutely. I am planning on doing that. I want people to see what I've got, what the equipment is, right? I've got several depths. I've got the streaming setup. I've got my norm where I actually draw. So there's something that you don't see because, I'm just on camera. Where I am right now, this desk is set up for streaming only. Like I draw for you on stream at this desk, but I don't draw on this desk, which is a big setup. I don't do anything on this desk but YouTube streaming. So that's desk number one. Desk number two is my work desk. That's where I officially do stuff, 7-pen stuff. And then I have a third desk, which is my, I would call it my drawing / entertainment desk. So it has a big 50 or 43-inch monitor and a Cintiq 24-inch touch. And that's where I draw right now. Now the tablet switches depending on what I'm playing around with. Majin, I'm retired, so I don't do anything for a living. But probably your next question, which I'll answer, is, well, how is it I'm affording all this? I worked for 28 years, almost 30 years at Microsoft, and I saved a lot of money. So I decided in my last, year at Microsoft, I think there's this itch that have been growing in my mind, and I've been thinking about it, and it has nothing to do with work, by the way. Like, is just this itch in my mind that I was getting really excited about digital art again, and I just felt like, my story needs to get back to the things that really excite me. And don't get me wrong, digital art's not the only thing that excites me, but I decided I could do it later, or I could do it now. And I'd set things up enough that I have enough money to do this. Now, will I always say that I'm not sure if I really retired. I think I took a break, maybe is a better way of saying it. Will I go back and work in the tech industry? Maybe, yeah. I've had people ask me about it, to join them back, and I've just said, well, I'm just not feeling it. Not yet. I wouldn't object to if someone said, hey, there's a really great offer here to do it, but I think I've got more I want to do here, and there are skills I want to develop while I'm on YouTube. Okay, so we'll see. But no matter what I do, I will continue with this channel. Memoir Draw is mentioned, yes, sir. And again, thank you so much. And Mad Max, yes, Happy New Year. I am so excited. So let me just give you a few thoughts about this year. First of all, we're gonna do just as much streaming as last year, okay? 2025, my first year streaming. And I thought I would be streaming like once a month, okay? I thought it was gonna be super rare, but actually, I love it. I love being in front of an audience. I knew that I'm in front of a lot of physical audiences back at work, like talking in front of 200, 300, 400 people. But I didn't anticipate like streaming, because you know you're really on camera and the world can see. But it turns out I love the energy, and I love dealing with chat. Okay, so I'll do more of that, and I'll find, you know, I'm trying to find the things that I think people want to see in the stream. And I'm not obsessed with growing the channel, honestly. I just want to have fun with you all. So we'll do things like we'll do a setup tour. We'll try to find fun things to do as well. Sometimes people just want to chat, which I'm totally fine with, right? We did a stream last year where I just literally went down my favorite sci-fi movies, and people said, "Hey, yeah, you should do a stream like that," which is not about tablets. So I might do that. Majin, yeah. So okay, let me get to that in a second, Majin. Let me get to that in a second. So 2026 is going to be really focused on just more engagement, and there are some channel goals or content goals I have. I have a backlog of things to talk about. Okay, there are so many topics I need to make a video and stream about. So I just need to get on the ball. 2025 was not an especially productive year for me for making videos. I streamed more. So I've got to find a balance of getting both. So we'll see that. Okay, so for new and cool goals this year, yeah, it's related to what I just said. I have a lot of content I want to create. Okay. Number two, I want to just continue getting better in front of the camera, which I think I am. I'm definitely enjoying it. Three is continue working, you know, as we all do, you work on your physical fitness. And so that's one of my big goals for 2026. What else? I'm not looking for a job. So that's not a goal for 2026. I'm happy doing what I'm doing here. I do ask myself that question, but you know, every couple of months I'm like, you know, do I want to continue just sort of doing this or not? And I'm like, for now, I am totally happy doing this. I want to continue doing this. This meaning doing what I want, which is helping people with digital art. Okay, so 2026 has begun. Again, thank you for being part of the community. Okay, I do want it to grow in the sense that I want us to do more interesting things. How many subscribers? This is, you know, I'm not doing this for subscriber growth. I want people just to have fun, and more importantly, I want them to not waste their money with tablets, and I want them to have a good time making digital art. Okay, so let me take a look at my show notes, because I actually have a bunch of topics, believe it or not, for today. Where are my... yeah, so we have some things to talk about. Okay, so number one is, I have a list of topics. Number one is tablets, and I have an update on the Canvas Pro 24 Gen 3. Okay, Majin says, I found out about you 3 days ago. Such a cool channel. Thank you. Majin, could you let me know how you found out about the channel? I'm really curious. And join the Discord. Let me make sure you have the Discord link, by the way, Majin. Where's the Discord link? Hang on. Oops. Ending count. Sorry, I gotta figure out where this Discord link is. Okay. Eduardo, got a moving pad 11 based on your videos. Thanks for the tip. It rocked. Good to hear. That's what we're here for, is to make sure people have a good experience and not wasting their money. Okay, Canvas Pro 24, which, by the way, hang on, is sitting in front of me. I still haven't concluded my testing. Okay, so I want to show you. Give me a second. I gotta get to the right place. Even if I don't make videos, remember, I do write down my notes. Okay, Canvas Pro Gen 3. Pro 24. Do I have the note? I think I do have. Hang on. Links, Canvas Pro. Yeah. I'm gonna paste the link in the. Oh, you're Majin. Okay. Thank you for clarifying. Thank you for clarifying. When people have different names on the channels, it just gets my head mixed up. But I will, slow over time, I'll catch on. But thank you. Okay, so let me show you now. Let me move this stream deck. Hang on. Let me move something. Okay. So we're going to show you. Yeah, so these are my notes on the Canvas 24. Canvas Pro 24 Gen 3. So it says the notes are in progress. You can see that I am testing this tablet. Here's the thing I want to talk to you about, which is pixel sharpness and anti-glare sparkle. And I took photos, okay? And let me turn down my volume here. Okay. Here's what's going on here. This is the new, so the camera settings are the same. Let me show you what you're seeing here. This is the Canvas Pro 24 Gen 3. Now, what are you seeing here is, you're probably wondering what's this thing here, this white thing with some arrows. That's a piece of tape. It's a label. Why are the chevrons there? They are there so that so the camera is focused on this. Like this has to be sharp, okay? And the reason for that is I want you to, in all the pictures, to be clear that the camera is focused in the same place, meaning it's focused at the glass. It's not focused deeper inside the glass or above like it's focused the right place, the right plane, okay? So I want you to take a look at this for a second. Just absorb what this looks like, okay? You don't need to analyze it, just try to remember it, okay? And the key thing I want you to remember, or thing is, how much anti-glare sparkle do you see, meaning a subtle rainbow effect texture, and then how sharp do these letters look? Now, there are pixels here we can probably detect a little bit, but just think about it. Think about the transition on the 1 and what this diagonal line looked like, the slash, okay? So this is the Canvas 24 Gen 3. Canvas Pro 24 Gen 3, the new model. Okay, GT2402. Let's take a look at the previous version for a second. Okay, GT2401. Just take a look at it, just absorb it in your mind. Take a look at how much anti-glare sparkle there is, meaning that rainbow effect, and take a look at how sharp the image looks. Now I want you to think for a second, which one of these is sharper? And let me do something here. Let me open up PowerPoint. And we're gonna put both pictures side by side so you can see them, okay? Copy image. And I'll paste it here. Okay, and then copy this one. They're the same size, so I'm gonna have to do a little bit of, I'm gonna do a little extra cropping, okay? So give me a second. Oops, not that. Okay. And move this out of the way, and then let's do some cropping here. I really felt like I needed to make sure you had a fair comparison between the two, okay? That's good enough, okay? Remember, new on the left, old on the right. Now let's take a look at them together. Oops. Why isn't it doing it together? Oh, hang on a second. It's showing it on the wrong screen. Let's try something different here. View, slideshow, use presenter view, I guess. We'll do it. That's not what I want. Monitor 1. Sorry, it's gonna take me a second to figure out how to get to the right monitor. It's doing everything but what I want. Okay, here we go. Does the sharpness affect pen to cursor retraction? Not at all. Not at all. Okay, so take a look here. You tell me what you see. I'm looking in the chat. I want everyone just to comment which one looks sharper. And comment which one seems to have more anti-glare sparkle. Okay? Now notice, remember, the camera is focused on the chevron. I mean, I know one's a little darker, but you know, roughly speaking, these are the same. These chevrons are focused correctly, okay? So you can't say that the left picture's out of focus. Okay, I'm waiting in chat. What do you notice? So here's what I see. So actually, before I get there, what is causing what we see? Just for everyone to be totally clear, what's causing what we see is the etched glass surface. That's right, Memodraw. The right clearly looks sharper. I think there's no question, right? It also has more anti-glare sparkle, which is a negative. Hito says right. Yeah, exactly. Now, both things, both the softness and the anti-glare sparkle are caused by the same thing. The etched glass surface. So it's the glass itself. The top layer of it has a slight texture, okay? And Huion for a while now has had glass that often, with like 4K screens, had a little too much anti-glare sparkle. Okay, so when I had the GT2401, which is the one on the right, the Canvas Pro 24, you know, the old model, I used it and I was like, yeah, I did notice that. It was not, you know, a huge, I mean, it was a moderate amount of sparkle. I definitely wanted less. Now, Huion, I think, in their product literature and their comments, they made a lot of effort in trying to eliminate the anti-glare sparkle. And what I noticed, the Canvas Pro 19, the first time I noticed it, I thought this display looked, the pixels look a little softer. In fact, that's the first thing I noticed with the Canvas Pro 19, is that it had a slightly soft look. Not blurry, I think blurry is exaggerating it, but it was softer. And as I saw that, it made me just realize, you don't realize how something is important until you see it gone, right? And I thought, some people are not gonna like the softness. Now, on the Canvas Pro 19, I don't mind, by the way, okay? With the Canvas Pro 24, I noticed the softness. I noticed a little bit more because, of course, this display has a lower pixel density because it's 4K at a bigger size. It has definitely improved on the anti-glare sparkle, but the sharpness is definitely off. I think you can see, okay? So this is, I'll put this comparison on the page, but I just want to make sure everyone understands. If you're gonna get this tablet, you're going to have to contend with this. Now, am I okay with this? Let me take a look again. I'm gonna take off my glasses and put my eye real close to the... I think it bothers me a little bit more. Maybe I feel like it's even slightly softer in the Canvas Pro 19. The photos don't quite show that, but that I took, but it is, I think it's gonna be more of a problem for some people. So I just want people to be aware. I have no problem using the tablet. I'm happy with the tablet. This could have been better though. This could have been better. Now, I did my drawing tablet tier list. Would this disqualify this tablet from getting in the S tier? I don't know yet. I gotta think about this one. It didn't disqualify the Canvas Pro 19, but it's an issue that we have to think about. So definitely with this tablet, and I think we're gonna have to pay attention to see if we notice this trend with other Huion tablets, okay? So just wanted to point this out. Hopefully that was useful. Okay, next is Yeah, let me bring up the document here. Okay, CES occurred a while ago, a week or two ago, and Huion actually said something here. I'm just going to get there. Look at this. I'm going to zoom in for you so everyone sees it. Okay, and I'll highlight the sections. Get a sneak peek at Huion's upcoming products. Okay. I mean, the white does also look gloomier as well, not just the. I think that can be a camera. The colors were slightly different. That is true. The colors were slightly different, so that's accurate in the photos. But you know, I wasn't complaining about it. The new one's supposed to have better colors, but I'm not sure what good means. So I'm not totally, you know, I'm not answering with confidence about which one I think should be the better one. But I think the GT2402, the new one, is better color-wise. Definitely the older one seems a little bit more reddish, but that could have been because maybe I changed the color in some way. I'm not sure. Okay, so Huion's coming up with a 22-inch Gen 3 drawing display, pen display. Okay, let's talk about this one. First of all, I'm super excited for this, okay? I am super excited because 22 inches is my favorite for a large tablet, okay? 24 inches is just a little too large. I think 22 inch hits my spot. It's a sweet spot for using a tablet. Pretty excited. I have searched the internet. I can't find any photos of this or any more information, but they said it's coming. I will get this tablet, right? I will absolutely get this tablet. And we're gonna see if this anti-glare sparkle and this softness, how it works with this new tablet. Okay. And then it says a 12-inch 2K, which I assume this means like 2560 by 1440, something like that. 12-inch Android tablet. So, what do they say about it? The tablet will feature Pentec 4.0. Good. That's a good start, right? Max Matt, great. Thank you. Here, I love when I see you. Mad Max is there. Let's wave hi to you. So this is a good sign. AGAF glass, sure. We'll see. Now I'm happy about this. I will get this tablet. I hope they don't use the word slate to describe it because I have, you know, the other Slate products don't use Pentec for, you know, they don't use EMR. So we'll see. I will get this tablet, okay? Just to be fair to Huion, because I have the Magic Drawing Pad from XP Pen, the moving pads from Wacom, and, you know, I'll get it. I'll get this one. So we can do a fair comparison. The Huion said they showed these devices at CES 2026. I didn't see it, so we'll have to just wait, okay? We'll have to wait. Now, for all this, I'm happy about. I have to be honest, the thing that I'm disappointed in is, where are my Pentec 4.0 pen tablets? Huion's been awfully quiet. Now, I expected them to release Pentec 4.0 pen tablets in 2025, and we haven't seen any of that. So, I hate to say I'm expecting, but I am expecting them to release something this year. We'll see what happens. I think they need to. Android tablet as in a studio pen display. What do you mean by studio pen display? I mean, because you said the word studio, you might have a specific meaning to that. I don't think it's a pen display. It might be able to be used like one. We'll have to see. Okay, let me see my next. Okay, so there's a couple of projects that I'm working on that I want to talk about, and in one case show you. Those computer built-ins, you say. I think it's gonna be like a Samsung Galaxy Tab S type device, right? Okay, so the first project is, we have some round brush. Thanks for joining us. Do you have recommendations for making the new Intuos Pro feel better for low pressure use? Tell me more about the kind of thing you're not liking about the current experience. Because if you can tell me the kind of thing you're not liking, I might be able to have a tip for low pressure use, right? I have some general tips, but the more you tell me about what maybe you're feels off, then it helps me give you more specific advice. Okay, so we'll wait for you to comment more and I'll talk about my 3 projects. Number 1, back in the day, Microsoft had an application called Microsoft PhotoDraw. I actually was on the PhotoDraw team. There was a video published a couple of weeks ago about it, and I started answering questions on it. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create a page that collects information that I have about these Microsoft apps, right? Because there's not really a single place where you can see people talk about these apps, okay? So I'm gonna talk about PhotoDraw and some other apps. So I'll probably cover a bunch of these Microsoft apps, okay? It's gonna be a doc site, just like my drawing tablet ones. Not as heavily updated because, it's an old topic by definition. But I've always wanted to collect that information. So that's one I'm gonna do. And we'll do a video on PhotoDraw, a demo at some point. I am working on a video about force proportions, just to clarify a few topics. And force proportions is, for pen tablets. This will make a lot of things more clear. It'll get to the point faster than my video on distorted drawing I made a few years ago. And then my third project, as you know, everyone knows this, I'm quite open about it. I'm vibe coding with AI all the time, and I'm building all sorts of tools. So I want to show you my latest tool. Okay, so let me bring it up. Give me a second. And I'm going to paste the link in the chat in just a second. Okay, so I've brought up the tool. Now I may merge this in another tool later, but let me put it in the chat. Here we go. So, one of the most common questions I get, hi G-Art, good to see you, good to see you. One of the most common questions on the subreddit, the drawing tablet subreddits, and just in life on the Discord is, someone needs to, what pen should they buy for their tablet because they lost it or didn't come with one or that they broke it. So which pen, remember, tablets are only compatible with specific pens. Many people buy the wrong pen. So there's no easy way and no fast, easy way to answer this question. Like if you have an Intuos Pro tablet, here's what you have to do to find out the actual pen. If you lost the pen, you'd have to ask somebody and find the right subreddit, or you have to go to Wacom's site and distinguish your Intuos Pro model number from the other ones, and then search through this like accessories list. It's complicated. So based off information collected by Cube, we'll talk about that, the vibe coding with AI in a second, and the reliability. I do have some thoughts on that, yeah. So if you go here and you type in, let's just type in, I don't know, moving, right? Watch this. I'm typing AM. Okay. Now actually, let me just show you one more thing. It shows each row is tablets. These tablets are compatible with all these pens, okay? So there's 21 rows, okay? So let's just type in moving, M. Of course, M will match Wacom as well, so M-O. Now you have 2 rows. There's the moving pad here and the moving 13, okay? And you can see which pens are compatible with. Now, it's partial because I'm not gonna cover every pen and every tablet, but a lot of them I'm gonna cover, and I'm still adding all the information, okay? So I am missing some entries for the pens that are compatible to moving 13, but this should make it very easy for you to find what you need. Now, what if, and you can view this in different ways. You can view it as this compact grouping, or you can view it by group by tablet. In case you just want to see for this tablet, CTH460, what are all the pens, right? Or you can group it by pen, right? Here's the pen and here's all the tablets. or you can just ungroup them, where it's just a flat list of like 465 compatibility pairs, in case this is just how you want to see it, okay? I don't know why anyone would want that, but there you go. Now, one more feature is sometimes people are like, okay, for this tablet, what are all the pens? Because you want to paste that in a Reddit post, okay? So, let's say, Cube says ACP 501 should be ACP 501. Oh, that's right. Okay, yeah, I will correct that. Thank you. And I'm glad Cube is here because I would say 80% of this list is from Cube's actual Wacom tablet master sheet. It doesn't include everything in the master sheet because the master sheet covers some tablets and pens that are relatively uncommon, though. And this list also has some things I added from Cintiqs, etc. The other thing is I probably am going to expand this list to be not just Wacom. This is going to include probably Huion and XP Pen, just so there is one complete list for everyone, okay? So that's what this list is. Oh, I just want to show you the other feature. Let's suppose you try to find out what are all the pens compatible with the Intuos. Oh, sorry, one more feature. Wildcards. You can do PTK-70, and you can see here are we can group them by like this here, right? And so you can copy. There's actually a copy button in each row, so you can copy it. Hopefully this works. Go to Notepad, and then paste that. So if someone asks you on Reddit or Discord, which tablets, which pens, you have an easy way of getting that into the discussion, okay? So I just want to show you this, and what I'll also do is I will go down through and make sure I'm validating this with whatever Wacom lists, which I think Cube has done that already, but since I'm adding ones that are not on his list, I've got to double check on those. I'm also going to add a disclaimer, and the disclaimer is going to say, I know, you should not trust the list. And when I say trust is, don't rely on some random internet guy, me, to tell you what's compatible. You should contact Wacom support. This is just to help you. Let's see, other brands require a lot of manual testing by you probably, but it would be nice to have since they don't tend to list compatibility as completely anywhere. Yeah, I can, at least I can do some of that testing. It's just going to take a while. Some of them, at least it can be partially correct. I know that. And I think that's the best I can aim for here, which is that I have a reasonable expectation that these are compatible because I have the tablet, right? So we'll see. And hopefully this will solve a lot of people's problems because it's a huge one. People are just buying the wrong pens. Let's see, round brush. Feels like I need to use more force than other tablets. I've tried messing with the pressure curve, but it makes it too general. Round brush, which tablet do you have? It's honestly, you can't increase the low pressure sensitivity. If you're feeling it, especially it's an Intuos Pro, so you probably have a Pro Pen 2 or Pro Pen 3. Usually when you're having to press down too hard, it's the pen's problem. But double check that you're having this feeling on, let me put my face there. Double check that you're having this feeling on all apps. Make sure there's no driver pressure curve, okay? In fact, try it with this app because I know there's no pressure curve set up. But it sounds like you might have a defective pen, okay? Let me find my tool for you, hang on, my tablet tester. Because I know this app, since I wrote it, has no pressure curve implemented immediately. So try the tablet tester. Now, by the way, I do have an Excel file, actually a JSON file right now, that for every tablet lists information like its size and its lines per inch or whatever. I'm thinking about combining all this into one sort of database so that you can, like, theoretically, you can be able to click here on Intuos Pro PTK 470 and get to a page which lists all the specs and stuff, right? We'll see. That's a lot of work, right? I mean, I have the data, but, you know, it will take some effort to integrate it all into one thing. Now, let's talk a little bit about vibe coding. I did vibe code this. I collected the data by carefully looking at, I had some documents and then Cube's documents, so that was all manual actually. But I used Google Anti-Gravity to build this tool. And I have to say, vibe coding for me, and I get it, look, you're right, I forgot who said it in the chat. Vibe coding can produce some strange code, and some of it is unreliable, and some of it's, I don't know what the right word is, almost naive, right? But overall, I have to say it has unlocked a lot of things for me and enabled me to build some tools I needed without too much effort, okay? And I will probably talk about vibe coding when I create my separate channel. Excuse me. But right now, I am really liking the experience. I think that it's gonna help me create more tools for you. And one specific kind of tool, which I think it's helping me, like it's personally helping me, is I have a lot of things where I have data that I need to see, like just like this list, right? And Excel works, but Excel cannot do what I'm showing you here, right? You cannot, it just doesn't have these facilities, right? Or you'd have to really go through a bunch of hoops to make it work. So I think of this as vibe coding is giving me the opportunity to have very customized experiences for exactly what I'm trying to do, okay? I'm not trying to replace Excel. I just need a custom interface to move through my data, okay? Something like this would take, you know, if you had to build this as a tool at Microsoft, you couldn't get it done. I'm not saying people couldn't do it. You could never justify anyone spending. So a developer at Microsoft, basically, if you're, I mean, I'll just say it like this. Let's suppose your salary is $100,000. The company's spending $500,000 on you for insurance and healthcare and all, and a whole bunch of stuff. So that person has to be funded to do something, and there's just no way anyone could ever justify a tool like this. So this is unlocking a lot of these experiences for me. So I really do like that. Now, the thing is, I have roughly 30 years of writing code of various kinds, okay? And so I've been talking to people about code and talking to people about how to communicate what I need, okay? And so that gives me a tool to interact with this vibe coding system. In other words, I know I have a sense of its limitations or where it might be wrong, so I can plan ahead about how to interact with it to get what I need, okay? I think if you were someone who was not used to coding, you could theoretically get yourself into some real problems, okay? Like, when I wrote this tool, I'm gonna say wrote, but I mean, I vibe coded it, right? Actually, I did write pieces of it. I did edit it. There are problems that it had bugs. It had things it did which were not correct. Like it had duplicates, right? And the only way you're going to catch those issues is to like carefully like think about what it's doing, right? And I had to do things like, I asked it to validate things in the code, add validation steps. It's actually, if I showed you the console log, you'd see it's actually logging things like, oh, this thing is created, like this pen is defined, but you never use it anywhere. And I'll just show it to you so you believe what I'm saying here. Look at console. Right? So it says this comment here, missing pen definition, unused pen definitions, right? I'm not sure why it's not showing it the way I normally render it, but these are things that it's logging at my request. Now, because if I'm suspecting there's a problem, this is what I'd look at. Now, I made it do this, okay? Round brush, let's see. It's hard to get the pen above 85%. Should I change something on the Wacom? Show, what's the pressure curve look like in the Wacom driver? Tell us what it looks like. Or paste it in the Discord chat. So yeah, this is what we'll do. And I'm really excited about this. Again, it's going to unlock some things for me to help you all, right? But yeah, going back to this comment here, let me bring it back up. There's work it's really good at, and there's work it's really questionable, okay? Every day it surprises me with what it can do, but I can totally see it has messed up, and I've had to unmess it up, either manually by editing the code, because sometimes it's easier to fix the code than telling you what you want to do, okay? And then sometimes it's just, its calculation is wrong. So when you're dealing with numbers, like statistical things, like you gotta be real careful because it's easy to get wrong number. I'm not saying it will do that problem. I'm just saying, if you're going out saying that there's some, you're doing some health thing, you're talking about mortality rates and, you'd want to double check that your math is correct, okay? But yeah, overall, if you're careful with it, I think it'll be very productive for you. I'm not sure someone, if they were not a coder or very new to coding, I think they would probably be productive, but I'd wonder about what was generated, right? The other thing is sometimes it produces kind of very messy code, or, it's kind of just aggregating code sometimes, and then I look at it and I say, hey, you know what? Can you find opportunities to refactor the code, or put this code like in this, sometimes makes a huge function. I say, take this part, make it its own function, right? That kind of thing. Okay, let's take a look at what round brush is doing here. It's in general, okay. Well, it looks, let me so everyone can see it. This is your pressure curve, looks fine. There's nothing wrong with it. I think you might just have a defective pen, round brush. Okay, if magically you had another pen, I'd ask you to try it. Or if you have a friend with an Intuos, a Pro Pen 2 or a Pro Pen, yeah, try that. Right? Find someone with a Pro Pen 2 or 3 and see if you like it better. Some people don't like the Pro Pen 3, by the way, right? I think Cube discovered it actually has a slightly higher IAF than the Pro Pen 2. But right now, your pressure curve's fine. It's not distorting the thing. But you might actually just have a weirdly defective pen. And from your comments, I think there's two ways in which it might be defective. Number one is you're saying you have to press down too hard and to draw, and you can't get above 85%. Okay, that's what I'm sensing here in your comments. And sometimes Wacom pens are like that. They just have a higher IAF. That's very rare with a Pro Pen 2 or 3. But with max pressure, sometimes the max pressure for these pens is crazy. I have one which is like 4 kilograms, which is crazy. 4 kilograms is a lot to press down with one little tip on glass. And you think you're gonna break the pen. And I can't get to, I've never gotten to 100% with it either, right? I can get to about 90. It's always been this way. Okay, but I do think it's the pen. Okay, so that was my AI stuff. Okay, I'm gonna talk a little bit about PCs. So I bought this a while ago, and this is gonna segue into another topic for a second. Minas Forum. So I switched to, let me find it. Oh no, I think I typed in the wrong thing. Give me a second. It should be this one. Yeah, I switched to this mini PC. My only complaint with it is that it is, so I got this model, 96 gigabytes of RAM and a 2 terabyte SSD. So this is my primary work PC right now. Now, it wasn't cheap per se. My only complaint with it is that I can hear the fan noise. It's not loud. It's just, you know, it's kind of like a laptop fan. So I keep it under my desk, and so I can't hear it. But I'm really liking it. And one of the cool things about it has a USB 4 port on the front and in the back. So it's very convenient when I want to switch displays, so I can connect it right to the front. I like it. I like it a lot. Which brings, this is really just a segue for my next topic, which is the future of PCs. Now, I've been a big advocate of mini PCs instead of getting a pen computer. It's like a Mobile Studio Pro. Oh, there's so many good ones, and let me tell you what's going on right now. So I don't use this for drawing, by the way. This 96 gigabyte monster. I actually use an older Minisforum. I have two of these, UM870 Slim. Okay, now I'm gonna go here and let's take a look at it here. Now, you know, RAM prices went up, okay? But I got this on Amazon for, oh, you can't see it, sorry. RAM prices went up, and I got this one for like $475. I think now it's like $600. But it's 32 gigabytes of RAM with 1 terabyte SSD. That's the version I got. Is it super fast? Actually, it's pretty decent. I wouldn't game on it. Is it great for 3D? Probably wouldn't be. But for Clip Studio Paint and Visual Studio coding, it's great. I have no complaints. And it was $500. So instead of a pen computer like a Wacom Mobile Studio Pro, I think a device like this is a much better investment. Okay, Mac Minis may be also a really good one if you're in the Mac OS ecosystem. Now, this is a little dated, right? By the way, it's relatively quiet. Occasionally I hear the fan, but basically it's silent. But I want true silence, and what I'm looking forward to is we're seeing a bunch of new processors launching, and I want to wait to get a new mini PC that uses one of these processors. So here are the ones I'm thinking about. Number one, these new Intel, what are they called? Panther Lake CPUs. So let's find out. Intel Panther Lake. Intel, which are supposed to have even lower power draw than Lunar Lake and more power, right? Yeah, Core Ultra Series 3 is going to be the name. Okay, so Panther Lake. I'm hoping we'll see mini PCs with Panther Lake. That's one. Number two is this Snapdragon X2 Elite, right? You could replace the mini fans with Noctua ones. That's a good idea. I hadn't considered that. I had not considered that. I actually have another Minisforum. I'm going to show it to you, but I'm not happy with it. I'm going to tell you why. Okay, so this is a PC I do not use, even though I just bought it a month ago. Okay, so I bought the highest configuration of this PC, which is only about like this big, by the way, with 192 gigabytes of RAM and a 2 terabyte SSD. I don't use it, and I don't use it because one of the fans, I think, I don't know which fan. It's not loud, but I can hear it. And it's louder than I want. So I like this idea maybe of finding out which fan it is, maybe seeing it, I can replace it. I don't know what's called, I mean, it's a powerful machine. I want to use it, but I don't want the fan noise. So I actually I leave this one off. But this one costs $3,000. I'm not recommending it because I think it's louder than it needs to be. But this is a powerful machine I hope to use one day. I love, so the question on Krita. I love Krita, but to be honest, I use it really as a testing tool. I don't use Krita as a normal app. It's fine. I think it's, you know, my brain is very oriented around Clip Studio Paint, okay? My brain does not work the way Krita wants me to work. I actively resist it. I'm not being fair to Krita when I say this, but because they have their philosophy how UI should work. I just have a different one. And having said that, the app in terms of what it does is great. Okay. Why do I need so much RAM for? Well, the reason I got that one was I kind of wanted the best of both worlds. I wanted one that I could maybe start doing some local AI stuff, maybe. I also, you know, I bought it when RAM prices were not, you know, scaling up as much. So, you know, I think it's pretty rare to have 192 gigabytes of RAM. Okay, so I wanted to just have that and, like, you know, just in case I needed it. But again, it's not, you know, it turned out to be a bad decision because I'm not using the tablet. I've got a $3,000 machine sitting over there that's unplugged because of, again, the fan noise is not screeching. It's not like a jet engine. It's just like, I want silence. I want silence. And this brings me back to these Snapdragons and Panther Lakes. I want a silent mini PC. My M1 Mac Studio is silent. My M4 Mac Mini is silent. I'm just not a Mac guy, okay? So this has got to be addressed. This has got to be addressed. I know some of you don't care about silence, but I want real quiet. I really do think that's important for, you know, me to use my equipment. So yeah, mini PC wise, I'm waiting for Snapdragon X2 Elites and Panther Lake mini PCs. Now I guess they're gonna come, but maybe the Snapdragon one will give me everything I really want, right? With a much lower power draw and quiet. I just want quiet, okay? Okay, next topic I want to talk about is local send. Okay, this is a Mir topic. So Mir was on me, kept asking me to try this app called Local Send. Which vibe coding do I use? Okay, so I mix it up a little bit. I've gone through a couple. I'm gonna get in trouble for this one. So I use Google AI Studio to get started sometimes. I am now using Google Anti-Gravity, which I like a lot. I have been using Cursor Code, or Cursor, it's pretty good. I've been using the AI vibe coding in JetBrains, what do you call it? WebStorm, which is just calling out to other things, I think. I don't think they've built their own AI. I think it's maybe even switching between models as they say fit. I have not tried Claude, and I have not tried, it sounds stupid when I say it because I'm a former Microsoft employee. I've not tried GitHub Copilot, right? Right now, the Google one's doing so well, like I'm kind of thinking about canceling Cursor. I do want to try Claude because I hear it's the best. I would love to have an iMac. By the way, I love the look of the iMacs. Let's take a look at one here. Let's see. I'm not into all-in-ones, right? To be honest, but take a look at these colors. Like, I want this, I think they've lightened up the colors, but take a look at some of these. They had a deeper red one. Not this pink one, but that must have been an older model. But I think they look so good. I would probably get the purple or the blue. I mean, boring color, I know. If I was brave, I'd get this pinkish or this yellow, this lemon-looking color. Honeydew melon. Uh, Microsoft is pushing Copilot quite hard on GitHub and VS Code now. It's quite annoying. They're trying to get you to use it, or they... I've noticed a little bit of that. I installed Visual Studio Code recently, and I thought it was just in my head, but it felt like I saw them trying to push me toward using GitHub Copilot. And I don't know why, but something has not made me want to do it. Okay, I think it's because I'm so just like happy with Google Anti-Gravity. I know, what a crazy name, but I love it. Maybe I'll try it. I'm not objecting to the idea of doing it. I've got so many AI tools now. I'm like running out of I don't know if I want to keep on exploring, but I will try. One thing I do is, when some of my tools which I pay for, I like JetBrains. Like, I ran out of AI credits, so I just switched over to Cursor, and now Anti-Gravity, right? So I just kind of use as much. Now it's only JetBrains where I've run out of credits. The rest I've never run out of anything. Oh, I want to tell you something that Cube, you might be interested in this because it was weird. Let me show you. It'll be easier if I explain this just by showing you something. Let me get to GitHub. Sign in like this. Hang on a second. This was weird for me. Okay, so we're gonna go to that compatibility thing here. I want to show you the code so people understand what's going on. I'm not going to show code, but I'm going to show you what the data is. Okay, so what happens here is there's a row of compatibility. So these tablets are compatible with these pens. Let me zoom this in a bit. I have unlimited Git Copilot usage. Do you like using GitHub Copilot, Cube? Let me zoom in a little bit more. Okay, so you see how it works, right? I have model numbers here, and I have the tablet model numbers and pen model numbers, okay? In this compact form. And then metadata about pens and tablets are in these definitions. So there's like a tablet definition. The DHA116 has a name, a type, okay? And there's actually also pen definitions. So I have the names of the pens associated with the model number. I also have families, but I will get into that. The key thing, here's what was weird. So my list was not complete, right? Like, for the sake of example, I'm gonna zoom in a little bit more here so it'll be more obvious for anyone watching. Okay, you see this here? Let's just pretend for a second I didn't have this, okay? Like these 3 rows for the PTH 851, 651, and 451 were not there. As I was editing this document, Google Anti-Gravity actually suggested for me the correct names and model numbers of these tablets to add. And I was like stunned by this. I was like, whoa. Like it analyzed the data. You understand what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't doing a prediction based on the content, meaning it wasn't like, oh, you've typed in the numbers 1 through 3, the next number must be 4. It was like, oh, I have this document about drawing tablets, and here are the drawing tablets. That was wild. That was a very wild experience. Okay. So it knew about my data. Now, it also hallucinated things about my data, I think. Actually, let me retract that back. It added pens I didn't know about. I think they're actually in Cube's list. So I should not have used the word hallucination there. But that was an interesting thing. It actually knew about the context of the data, which surprised the heck out of me. The other thing that I discovered about this AI was I was able to ask it questions about my data. Like I said, remember, this is just an XML file. I said, are there, do I have duplicate IDs for anything? It actually analyzed that for me. I'm like, oh, that was very nice, right? Nick Tyler has joined us. Good to see you. Nick, so I'm on Far Cry 6, and I remember in the middle of 6, I finally realized Far Cry 5 is better, so I switched to Far Cry 5, and now I am in Hope County in Montana, and I'm farming. I mean, you know what I mean by farming, right? I'm getting my perk points, so I'm gonna take down John. I think John Seed first, then Jacob Seed, then Faith Seed, and then the big guy. Okay, let's see. Hugh wrote, I rarely use it. I have yet to find a single time which is helpful with code, but it's pretty good at generating markdown tables for my PR messaging formatting, huh? Oh, I love the auto commit messages, because I hate writing commit messages. I hate doing that. Because it's just like, I spent hours writing the code, and now like it's just one more burden. So it simplifies that for me. And even then, I only use it because it's right there and faster than opening you. Got it. Yeah. I was so surprised, Cube, to see that it had knowledge about that. And so again, like, it's sort of beyond just vibe coding. I was asking it to think about my document, right? It's pretty happy about that, right? I was really happy. In fact, what I'm gonna do, believe it, let's see if this makes sense to you. Let me take a drink of water here. So one of the things, sorry, let me put my face on here. So you have to remember how I'm generating this information, right? This table, what you see, this XML file, came from a partial extraction rather, of Cube's Wacom tablet master sheet, okay? And then it came from my own personal collection of, crawling the internet. Now Cube's list was mine's small, the amount of contribution, but I merged them together, okay? And what happens when you do these kind of data merges? You make mistakes. I had a duplicate definition in there. I had to remove. Actually, it found it and removed it for me because I asked it to. But what I want, here's a question I have, which is, I'm going to ask it, can you take Cube spreadsheets and ensure that my data doesn't contradict it? So, in other words, that I accurately capture, right? Related to that, I think Tablet Kitten has a compatibility list of Huion, and then you've got Cube spreadsheet, and then you've got my thing. You've got what was that? Mac Hollywood has a list. Not a list, it's like a bunch of pages. And can I do like a multi-way, like, okay, can we just normalize everything into one list for a second? So, can it do that? I don't know. I'm really curious. Probably CTL, I would guess CTL 672, Nick. Because it's one of the best tablets ever made. Do you have any window manager apps you recommend? I think the ones Windows 11 natively are not that good. I plan to run 3 more to set up in summer. I don't use any window manager stuff, so I couldn't really comment on that. I just use what comes with Windows. Basically, my needs are met with Windows and this feature here. So I'm trying to get it. Why don't I? Oh, let me do it again. Easy. Sorry. Okay. This feature, right? That's it. That's the extent of my window management. I use the Windows built-in feature, right? Windows has this feature called desktops. I accidentally create them. I never use them. I find it super confusing. Maybe Cube says I should go and finish my display tablet list. It has half complete for years. Let me know if you need any help. Happy to help out. Getting back to the bringing all this data together. See, because like Cube has it in not even an Excel file. It's in a Google spreadsheet. Mac Hollywood's bunch of web pages. I have an Excel file, sorry, an XML file, and I have a JSON file, which contains specs, right? So I'm just trying to figure out, can AI? This would be a difficult problem for a human. Like, it's tractable, it's possible, but the amount of bookkeeping you have to do, like, okay, let's just pick a tablet like the CTL 672. If I wanted to be complete with it, I'd have to check multiple sources, make sure it's complete, and that would be a lot of work. It'd be very challenging to do. Wacom seems to omit more tech specs on display tablets. Got it. Yeah, Wacom, strangely enough, doesn't... Like, if you look at, let's say, a Huion tablet and a Wacom tablet, especially a pen display, you'll see that Wacom doesn't mention certain things. They're just like, we don't care. We're not going to mention this at all. Like, I don't think they ever mention hover height. Now, I'm not saying they need to, but, like, it's just funny they don't do it, right? Never mention accuracy. Like, Huion and XP don't say, oh, we're accurate between, 0.1 millimeter at the center and, like, 1 millimeter at the corner. Wacom just totally doesn't say anything like that. Again, I'm not criticizing that. I'm just pointing out, like, yeah, they really do avoid certain kinds of information. Nick, do you know, I've never even heard of Dynamic Brush. I figured it out just recently. I'm pretty sure most users never even tried. Never even heard of Dynamic Brush. Well, let's take a look at it. Dynamic Brush. Krita. Add custom smoothing dynamics to your brush. Will give you similar smoothing results as a normal freehand brush. There are a couple of options you can change. I've never heard of this. Huh? I'm just like, what is this? But okay, hang on. Let's take a look at this. Let's go to creative for a second. Beware of Mac Hollywood's compatibility list, by the way. They list them. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, I think you mentioned that a couple years ago. I remember you had a discussion, I think maybe on Reddit, with him about this. And so this goes to my point, which is, when we talk about pen tablet compatibility, I always tell people, don't trust my list. Like, it's a good starting point, but like verify with Wacom support, because mistakes happen. I've seen Wacom make mistakes on their own, when they publish information. Same with Huion, right? And it's not like a human error. Sometimes it's like things just get copy pasted, or an algorithm duplicates something it shouldn't have duplicated. It happens all the time. But support you can generally trust. Okay, new file, new. And I've got the Huion driver. Since I'm projecting a different screen that I'm going to draw on. I'm going to, what am I going to do here? I like that Huion can do this. I'm going to set the working area to, so I'm going to draw here on my Huion, and it's going to go up to the screen that you see. Okay, so I'm doing something quite weird. Oh, I wanted to share one more thing before I continue. I wanted to share a thing that, some of you know I'm a little bit older than you are. I wanted to share with you something which is, how do you know you're getting old? Okay? And you're getting old when you do things that nobody realizes. Like, you're doing behaviors that seem insane for a normal person. Okay? Like, they're habitual behavior because you use them forever. Okay? Let's see, Cube says, the guy I talked to on Reddit was the person who made the list, but he was no longer with Mac Hollywood, so... Oh, got it. Should I contact the Mac Hollywood people? and ask them to change the list or something, Cube? Happy to do that if you want me to. So before we get to Krita, I just want to get this out of the way. So I've used Windows back in Windows 3.0, okay? So one of the things is you develop these memories of the way things used to be, and you just keep on doing them because like you just remember. And I caught myself doing this the other day, and I forgot that I do this. So let me ask you a question. How do you close, this is Notepad, and I don't know if it's gonna work by the way, because not all apps still do this. How would you close Notepad? Okay, you got two ways, right? File, exit, that will close Notepad. This will close Notepad. Okay? Clicking on the X will close Notepad. I realized the other day, I do something which I don't think people and by the way, it doesn't work in some apps now because they've been updated in certain ways. But back in the day, you could close these windows by double clicking in this corner, just where my mouse is. Okay? No right clicking, just double tap. Okay, well, let's see if it works in Notepad. No, that maximized it. Let's try it again. I gotta find like an older app. Some of these do it. Maybe Krita will do it. Let's see. There we go. Krita Club. Right? It actually shut down Krita. As you can see, it's not consistent anymore between apps, but it used to be a thing. Let's see. I'm not sure it's worth it since it's clearly unmaintained now. They haven't added any new tablets or pens in the last several years. Got it. So there's still, the list is still there, they're just not maintaining it. Oh, that's sad. Because it's a nice list, like they have pictures of the tablets and the pens and like, it comes off as very authoritative, like, which is good, but like if it's out of date, it can be problematic for people. Okay, let's try this dynamic brush stuff here that Nick brought up. Okay, and where's my darn pen? Okay, give me a second. I'm gonna get a pen. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back and let's see. It feels so weird. I'm drawing on the glass of a monitor, like a display, as if it's a pen tablet. Okay, so let me Control Z, and then where is this tool? This thing, which I have never used for sure, Nick. Okay, and it's called the what? Dynamic brush. Okay. You can have the normal brush tool without smoothing, and when you need to do smoothing, you switch to dynamic brush. Instead of turning on the, okay, so let me ask a question. In the normal brush, okay, hang on, people aren't seeing what I'm saying. In the normal brush here, I have these options here, right? For tool options, brush smoothing, this, okay? Now if I go to dynamic brush, I see different tool options. I'd never even heard of this tool. So what I think you're saying is I can still pick these kinds of brushes here. Like this, right? And let me make a bigger brush so that it's more visible for the audience. And then there's mass and drag. What the hell? Oh, okay, so let me see. So basically it's just another, it's basically, here's the way I'd say it. This seems to be the same as the normal brush, but with a different smoothing setup. Okay, that's what Nick is saying. Okay, interesting. You know what's so funny? You use an app, and sometimes you just don't click on an icon, even though it's been there for, I don't even know how long. It does feel okay. Let's play around with it. Let me go the drag to 0. What happens? What the? Okay, I don't know what that's about. It's weird. Okay, I don't know if that's supposed to happen or not. Let me try a different brush. Oh, don't know. What is this supposed to do here? Nick, does the same thing happen to you? Max Mad, it depends on what your definition of vectorial means. Does it support some vectors? I think it does, but it's not good for vector drawing at all. Clip Studio Paint is much better for vector drawing because it draws more in a way you'd expect. Try 0, 1, and drag 1. Okay. Yeah, Cube, I'm like you. Like, I don't mess with some of these things. Play with mass first, okay. Okay. Let me get the brush size bigger again. Okay. I mean, it feels nice to draw on. I'm just not sure. Let me try to go mass really high. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. I don't know how to explain this, but like, Nick, you might, please pipe in if this makes sense. It's almost like it's a physical simulation. Like, it's almost like the brush has weight. And it has high, there's a lot of, it's not inertia to overcome. But once you do, it's moving like a car, and it's harder to stop, right? It's a different kind of smoothing. Like, I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna say the word stop when I actually stop drawing. You'll understand, okay? So the brush is here. I'm gonna build up some inertia, right? And I'm building it up. Okay, I'm gonna do, and then I'm gonna move to the right. That's stop. Oops, sorry. I have to keep the thing down. Let me try it again. Build up some inertia and then stop. You see how long it went over? I wasn't moving my hand. That was the inertia carrying it through. That's a weird ass feeling. Now, if I lift up, it'll stop drawing immediately. It's a weird feeling. It is definitely smooth. Like it's beautiful. I mean, I think I would have trouble dealing, well, if I'm flicking the strokes. Yeah, if you're not gonna hang on at the end. Okay, I'm gonna have to use this more. I like this. I do like this. You know what? I'm thinking I might add this to my tablet tester. It's cool. I can't figure out what the hell this drag thing is though. Like, why does drag... Let me do it something less than that. Okay. It's more responsive. It's so weird. It is not like the normal EMA smoothing. Have you tried the spring simulation plugin, Spring Interpret? No, I've not tried that. I have not tried that. You know what? I will try that this week. You know what I'd wish here? I wish I could control the pressure. I'm not sure how it's applying smoothing versus position. Definitely it's affecting position. I wish I could control specifically how to apply smoothing. It's such a weird smoothing. I don't know how to describe it. Like, my language is not good enough to tell you. Hey, it almost looked like a pee-pee just now. That was not intentional. I don't know. You gotta try this, folks. Seriously, it's like, it feels responsive but floaty. It actually feels sometimes like it has. Oh, that was weird. There was a delay. I'm doing this. It actually had an extra little wobble that I didn't do. Okay, that's wild. Very good, Nick. I will play around with this more, and I'll try Spring and Chirp in OTD. Okay, I gotta take a quick bio break. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Yeah, that was interesting. Max Mad, thanks for joining us. Have a great day. Yeah, inertia, definitely an inertia feeling. Yeah, seeing it wobble past the end of my wobble was wild. Yeah, let me put a couple of notes for myself here. Show notes. I'm gonna try. I still didn't talk about Mirror's local scent. Hang on a second. I want to try Spring Interp, and then Krita Dynamic Brush. Things to try. I'll also put a note to myself to add this to my smoothing docs. I'd never heard of this. Let's see, things to try, dynamic brush. Okay. Thanks for bringing that to my attention, Nick. It's so funny. I think I've seen that icon before, but in my mind, the way it looks, I actually thought it was a. Let me just show you. You see these things above it, right? These are like vector tools or something. Because it looks like a curve with a node, it looks like I thought it was a vector tool. I never hovered near it. And it's below 2 vector tools. Multi-brush, never even heard of that either. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, I want to talk about local send. So let me explain what is going on here. I think I can just use PowerPoint for this one. So there are different ways of getting content from different devices, right? You can use OneDrive, Google Drive. There's also quick share. Mir had been asking me to try local send for a long time. I'm gonna demo it for you. I want you to think about using it because I think it's fantastic actually. Let's find so it's called local send, and we're just gonna go there so you can see it, okay? And I'm gonna tell you how I use it because it has solved a problem for me. Localsend.org, okay? And it is free. It is free, okay? So here's the key thing. You don't need the cloud. You don't need an account, right? You can use it locally, right? And so here's how I've used it. Sometimes, my NAS, which I have like terabytes of stuff in my NAS, the NAS kind of goes to sleep, and so it needs some time to like kind of reconnect when I start using a new computer if I haven't been using it for a while, and that can slow things down. Sometimes my Mac has problems like talking to my NAS, and local send let me just like quickly send these multiple files, right? It was so fast as well. The other thing is, if I take a lot of pictures of tablets and I need to process them, and I was using Adobe Lightroom as the way to get pictures from my phone to because it was the easiest thing at the time. But local send makes that really easy, okay? And I'm gonna actually show you local send. So you see what's going on here. Local send. I actually have it installed. Okay, so it says Smart Pumpkin. So it assigns a name for you can change it. In fact, I'll change it right now. I'm gonna call this my streaming. Where is it here? Yeah, I'm gonna call this my streaming PC. Streaming. I can't spell anything today. Streaming demo PC. Right, I'll confirm it. I have to restart the server. Don't worry, that's just it running. It doesn't have to run all the time. So now if I go here, back to receive, streaming demo PC, and then I've got my phone here, and I'll see if I have a photo, or I'll take one. I don't think I have anything embarrassing. Let's see. I have accidental photos of my hand and a bunch of Huion. Okay, I'll send one of the Huion ones. So boring. I have local send here. I just want you to see this workflow, okay? So there's an app for Android and iOS, and this phone is tagged as S24 Ultra, okay? So I'm gonna click on send. You can't see it, and it says media. I'm gonna select the file. Oh yeah, I should not have that photo. I saved a bad meme. Let's say that. Okay, and I can select multiple files, so I'll go ahead and do multiple files just so it's obvious. Okay, so multiple files have been selected, and then I'm going to hit confirm here, and I'm going to click send to this computer. Okay, now here's what happens. It says it's coming from this phone. No, there's no connection here. I didn't set up my account. And look at this. It says this is the name of the thing. Do I want to accept? And there you go. It just comes over and they're done. And where are they? They're in my downloads folder, and that's it. Okay, try it out. Try it out, because I just thought I'd need it one time. But it turns out I'm using local send every day, right? Because sometimes it's just the easiest way of getting something you're looking right at to another machine, especially photos. So check it out. Check it out. There's another tool called SyncThing, which people are asking me to use. I'll check that out. I suppose that's more like a OneDrive type thing, but we'll see. But yeah, thanks to Mir, because Mir had been asking me to use it, and I finally got a chance to do it. I was like, oh, this is super easy and fast and light and free. And Cube says it's open source. You don't need to worry about some sort of secretly injected spyware. Yeah, you know exactly what it's doing. Hey, thanks for joining us. Thanks for joining us. Have a great day. Cube says, personally I use KDE Connect, which is more functions, but also has the same send function. Okay, let me write that down, because I actually think that that's, I do want to explore different options here. Where are my notes? Where are my notes? Let's see. Local send, or I did KDE Connect. And then SyncThing's the other thing I need to try. SyncThing, right? So I've reached this. I've got all my content I want to do in the stream. There's a couple of things I want to follow up with and just say things I'm planning on. I am planning on doing a Linux for I don't know, digital art stream featuring Zorin OS. I know Mir is gonna kill me because Mir wanted me to use Cashy OS, which I did use, but I wanted to try something I thought my audience, especially the people who just want to draw, want to just focus on getting drawing. So we're going to try Zorin OS. I have it installed on a mini PC, and I'll do a stream where I show it. I think of all the distros I've tried, Zorin seems to be the one that is, like, if you're a Windows user, you'd get it. The experience I had was, you know, like a Chrome OS isn't Windows, but if you use Windows, you kind of get what's happening. You just have an intuitive feel. Zorin OS was like that for me. So I think that is one I want to try to show people. Personally, I don't know how to explain this, but I really loved the feeling of Cashy OS. Cashy OS was cool. I don't know what to say. Like, just the way it looked and how it operated. It was fast too. I don't know what it was, but it seemed snappier than I expected. Definitely snappier and slicker than Mint, which looks boring. Right? Mint is great, but it's boring. The other reason I wanted to focus a little bit more on Linux this year is, well, I think we have a little bit of a problem with Windows right now, which is, by the way, just to be clear, this really is not an anti-AI rant. The problem is, I think the attention on Windows is going toward a certain front, which is AI, which is fine. I'm not criticizing that. I'm saying, in my own experience, Windows, the operating system, has contributed less to my satisfaction with digital art than any time before, or even with coding, right? I used to write a lot of Windows applications that were built on WinForms, okay? But I'm starting to get really productive with HTML and JavaScript, which I always was, but like the AI stuff, the vibe coding has really, really leveled me up. Like, I'm much more productive, right? And much more willing to spend time doing this code, because like the hard parts are kind of gone. Cashy applies lots of performance patches that aren't into stable Linux kernel yet, which is potentially good. Got it. So it wasn't just my head, the UI, like it is actually faster. Okay, that's good to know. Because I was like, man, this seems like way faster than Max Matt. You back again, Max Matt. Charlie Martian, good to see you. So Windows, in that sense, is a little, actually, I guess I'm going to rant a bit longer. If you're just drawing and stuff, except for the fact Clip Studio Paint is on Windows and not on Linux, you probably have to stick on Windows. Now, I think there are techniques. We're going to try to run Clip Studio Paint on on what do you call it? On Linux. I'm gonna try that this year. Okay. I'm not saying I'm gonna adopt it. I'm gonna see if it works, because I think a lot of you are interested in moving in a non-Windows direction. So we're gonna see. Okay. And again, I'm gonna base this on Zorin, because Zorin is the most familiar thing my audience, most of you would understand and probably succeed with. I think you'd have problems with Cache, only because you'd have to invest time dealing with things you don't want to, and even I don't, right? I just want things to look good and work really nicely. So we'll see if this is the right path forward for some people. Now that we talked about that, I want to go back to AI for a second. This is becoming an AI channel, right? There was an email, not an email, so let's go find it. This is the I hate you saying this phrase, but it's the phrase that is the micro slop memo. So we're going to take a look at it. Micro slop Nadella. Okay. This was a LinkedIn post. I shouldn't say LinkedIn. I want to find the actual. I'm going to give you some insight into Microsoft corporate communication. Okay. Hopefully I can read it. Okay, sure. Windows Central. Where is this post? Sorry, I know you can't see what I'm seeing, so I'm gonna find it. There's so much to talk about too. Where is it? It's so funny sometimes to find the original article. Okay, maybe it's just gonna be here. No, I don't want to continue with anything. No, this can't be right. It was a blog post on the future. Was it future of work? No. Micro slop. This must be it. No, is this it? Yeah, this must be the post. Yeah, here we go. Click here. Okay, so I'm going to talk to you about this. I'm going to give you some insight that you probably don't normally see, okay? So first of all, blog post, no, he's a very good communicator. I've run into him a couple of times. Super sweet, good communicator, charismatic. That's a human being. This is a piece of text produced, and there's a difference between the two, okay? And what you'll see in any sort of big company is that these posts like this are pretty serious, meaning they're not random, okay? They're not like someone wakes up and says, I'm gonna just like write something and, you know, while I'm eating my breakfast and like I'm gonna post it, okay? These things are prepared. And almost certainly this was collaborated with multiple people, his staff, okay, and leaders in the company who probably reviewed it, okay? And there's some interesting facets about this that I wanted to share, because again, I don't think you're hearing it from other people. And it's not just about the AI, it's just about the entire thing. So we're gonna take a look at it. And we're gonna read it fairly, and we're gonna read it with, what do you call it? There's a word for this, where you give everything sort of like the good interpretation, or a fair. It'll come to me. It'll come to me. We've moved past the initial phase of discovery, entering a new phase. We're distinguishing between spectacle and substance. We have a clearer sense of where tech is headed, but also harder and more important question: how to shape its impact on the world. Pretty standard stuff. It's a lot of words, but we're trying. The key thing is, lots of exciting things have happened, and now we're focusing on impact. Right? That's all this entire paragraph is all about that, right? Now, one thing you'll notice about a lot of corporate speeches, there's so many metaphors are used. Okay, you'll see that all through this document. The first one's right here. Opening miles of a marathon. Okay, this is classic corporate speak. Everything somehow gets a marathon, right? Sorry, not marathon. Just like these metaphors keep on piling up. Now, sure, nothing's wrong with saying much remains unpredictable. Yeah. Amidst, no one uses amidst anymore. Right? It's just a weird model overhang where capability is outpacing our current ability to use it. This is some of what we still need to get right. This is where you start seeing some interesting things. And again, I'm not really criticizing this specific document as much as I'm criticizing pointing out some things you notice about corporate communication. A lot of the times, the discussion that people have in constructing this, like those people and the way they talk, bleeds into what they write for human beings. Human beings is us, meaning non-Microsoft employees or non-Microsoft people. And as a former Microsoft employee person, I see that effect here. You will say things in Microsoft that are totally natural to you, but a normal human being would be like, you sound crazy. Like a human being would not speak that way, right? And terms and ways of phrasing things come through. And this is actually one of them. Model overhang. Now he does sort of explain it a little bit here. Our capability is outpacing our current ability to use it. And the interesting thing is that this term was introduced with no benefit, right? Like, why bring up the term model overhang, which is not mentioned later in the document, by the way. But he's just saying we have a lot of ability, but we don't have, again, it goes back to impact, right? It's a lot of words for saying we need to have more impact. And our AI has a lot of power, but we're not having the impact, right? Here's another one, which really caught my eye. A new concept. This is almost, this almost does sound like AI slop, actually. A new concept that evolves, quote, bicycles for the mind, such that we always think of AI as a scaffolding for human potential versus a substitute. That's a tough sentence to deal with. Okay? Very tough. Now, bicycles for the mind, I didn't know what it meant. I actually had to search this phrase up. That sounds like bad. That is awful construction there. It's actually it's referring to something from Steve Jobs, which is right here, right? So it's like likening computers to bicycles for human intellect, because bicycles, they're saying here, amplify our inherent cognitive abilities, just as bicycles enhance physical locomotion. And the example that Steve Jobs used, which I'm summarizing, is a human walking is not very efficient, right? Like a lot of energy for just a little bit of distance traveled. I don't know, a dog walking is more efficient. There's less energy for this, they're more efficient. They don't require as much energy to travel as much distance. But a human with a bicycle can go 100 miles, with not too much effort, right? So the metaphor is interesting, but it's just, if you're in the space where these people talk that way, not anyone knows this metaphor. You'd have to search for the metaphor. In fact, there's no point introducing the metaphor, right? You might as well just say what you mean, which is that AI will expand what you can do, right? The next sentence is it's really odd, and I don't like this form of construction because it starts with a negation of something, right? What matters is not. That's just a weird way to begin a sentence, right? Is not the power of any given model, but how people choose to use it to achieve their goals. It's actually just repetitive again, right? It's not the power, it's the impact. Meaning here, applying it to goals, right? But a strange formulation. We need to get beyond the arguments of slop versus sophistication. This is where slop was introduced for the first time. And look at this. And develop a new equilibrium in terms of our theory of the mind that accounts for human beings equipped with these new cognitive amplifier tools as we relate to each other. What a wild sentence. It's a lot of words here. And do you really need the phrase "as we relate to each other"? But we will read it with a lot of fairness here. And I'll say, you have to, we're going to have to change our expectations, because what people can do, they'll be able to do more with AI. That's the entire end of the sentence. And as a result, we will relate to each other differently, right? Or whatever. But it's a lot of words to achieve that. Bicycles for the mind made me think of an exercise bike where you pedal as hard as you want and go. Yeah, it's a really, the problem with bicycles for the mind is it makes you think of something like what Cube was pointing out, which is like, what is this an analogy for? Like, would you have known that it was about efficiency? Right? Or would you, or, because you don't necessarily think about bicycles as like, oh, what an efficient way of transporting things. You might have thought of it as an exercise, like as Cube pointed out. When I first heard it, I didn't know what he meant. I just didn't understand the point, right? This is the product design. There's a question we need to debate and answer. So summarize this entire thing for me. Human beings, what you consider to be human cognition changes, meaning human mental abilities because of AI. We need to figure this out. That's the entire summary of this paragraph. But I don't like the paragraph because it's a lot of fancy talk and a lot of complex construction for a very simple thing. So it's not good in that sense. I agree with it, but it's such a wild, like, I don't think a human would like this. If anyone here in chat likes it, let me know. We will evolve models to systems and I will talk about the impact for us in a minute. We will evolve models to systems when it comes to deploying AI for real world. Again, what does that mean? Oh, I love this one. We have learned a lot in terms of how to keep writing. Look at this phrase. They should quote this one. The exponentials of model capabilities. I understand what he's saying. It's just not a way you'd convey it to a human audience. Yes, Rain, exactly. It's very grandiose. And it's very, like, again, the people who built this, his team, talk this way to each other. And they read these articles. And so for them, this is just like when you order a hamburger at Wendy's or something. Like, it's just natural for them to speak like this. They don't realize the weirdness of it. It doesn't come out to them. Right? Like, this entire, keep riding the exponentials of, I shouldn't have put that accent in there, as if I'm some kind of Western guy. Keep riding the exponentials of model capabilities. The models are going like this, and he's saying, like, they're getting faster. They're getting more powerful at an accelerating pace, while also accounting for their jagged edges. I guess he's saying they do like this, so sometimes they get less powerful. So you understand, when you mix these metaphors, you're not sure how to interpret what a jagged edge is. Because if it was jagged, it would be a sawtooth. Like, it would go up, down, and up. And is that what happens? Or do they go flat? Which is what I would expect, right? And the flat edge increasing like this is not jagged, right? Okay, I love this next one. This is actually one of the wildest. Yeah, Cube, you're right. The exponential progress has stopped, or at least that's what I believe is true. I would agree with your sentiment here. And improvement, I mean, I remember when things first came out, there are still improvements, but I'm wondering how long this will continue, right? Because the problems get harder and harder, and the expectations get greater and greater. Let me give you an example, and I'm sure you all have an AI moment like this. Many years ago, I got a Google little home speaker thing. I forgot what it's called. I think it was Google or Amazon or something, but I think it was Google. And I'm going to put my face here. And I asked it, so, it was cool. I was like, oh, what time? It was my number one question I asked the thing. I threw it away, or I turned it off. But the two questions I asked it were, what time is it? And what's the temperature? Because I was taking a walk, right? Okay, so but then I'm like, okay, I'll try to interact it with it a little bit more naturally. So I asked it, so for those of you who are not from the United States, there's a big game that's played roughly, I think, every February. It's called the Super Bowl. You probably heard of it. It is probably the most important sport in the world. Not even probably, it is. It is better than any other sport in the world. It's called football. Real football is also acceptable. And sometime in like April or May, so 2 months after the big championship game, the Super Bowl, I asked this Google, I asked the following question. I'm not making this up. I said, when is the Super Bowl? Like, you understand? When is it? Now remember, the Super Bowl already happened. So what am I talking about? I'm talking about when is the next Super Bowl, right? Like, when will it happen? Or actually, sorry, this happened before the Super Bowl. I'm getting my story a bit mixed up. This was like 2 weeks before the Super Bowl. And what do you think that meant? I'm like, yeah, when is the next Super Bowl, right? It told me the Super Bowl from 10 months earlier, or a year earlier. I'm like, no, I didn't ask you when it was. I'm like, when is it, right? So because you start dealing with the system, they start feeling natural. You start thinking they can do more than they can do, and then they disappoint you. Now the AI is really good, right? Let's be honest. Like, it has done some amazing things. I talk about vibe coding all the time. But we're going to hit a point where you're going to expect it to do things and it can't, right? Or it won't. I'll give you a great example. I was asking it about medicine for something, and it would not say, every answer it said to me was always prefaced by, what I am saying does not constitute medical advice. Please see a doctor if you, I'm like, I get it. You've told me that 15 times. You can stop doing that now. So sometimes it just has these weird behaviors, and sometimes it just cannot understand what you're saying, right? And so when you hit these points, you start getting really disappointed, okay? And I'm seeing a little bit more disappointment sometimes. I'm still in the curve where it's good, right? But I'm always disappointed when I can't do something. I'm very irritated by this situation. I'm like, you seem to be magically good at so many things, but then I go one step beyond and like, oh, I don't know what you're talking about, right? Nick says, I would call it simpler, pretentious BS, lots of words, zero sense. This is normal communication in a company at this kind of level. I would love to understand how a person thinks this reads well. Now, understand, whenever you get these corporate documents, you have to understand or ask yourself, who is the audience and am I in the audience? Well, this was a publicly posted blog post, so the audience by definition is everybody. But also the audience is investors and shareholders. I think I am an investor in Microsoft. I have a lot of money invested in Microsoft. I don't disagree with what's being said. I just think it sounds weird as hell, right? It's really weird. And again, there's no criticism of the CEO, who's a good guy. It's this form of communication, which is classic. Trust me, many things that have been written from him have this. This is not unusual. This is the kind of things you see. Okay. Anyway, we're now entering, listen to this sentence. We are now entering a phase where we build rich scaffolds that orchestrate multiple models and agents. Semicolon, which no one uses anymore in the world, account for memory and entitlements. We're going to get to that word, entitlements. Semicolon, again, enable rich and safe tools use. Humans don't speak or write this way. This is weird. This is like an alien or an AI writing. First of all, where we build rich scaffolds that I can't even get enough air in my lungs to say this entire sentence. What does this even mean? This is not account for memory and entitlements. Okay, here's another thing you're gonna love. Remember, corporate communication is just so crazy. The word entitlement is a really crazy word in the United States. A good portion of the people you talk to when you say the word entitlement will hear it or see it, and they're red flag immediately goes off, because entitlement, in the mind of most people would either agree with me or understand why I'm saying this. Entitlement equals, in the United States, welfare, meaning government giving you money. That's what it means. But in the corporate world or other worlds, entitlement just means like things that you're entitled to, in a more generic sense. It's not really so judgmental. But it's like no human beings use that phrase. Corporations do, but not human beings. So it's just a very weird statement. What are you trying to say? This is the engineering I hate this sense. This is the engineering sophistication we must continue. This is a crazy sense. This is the engineering sophistication we must continue to build to get value out of AI in the real world. Yeah, it's needlessly complex. And lastly, and again, semicolons, no one uses semicolons. And lastly, we need to make deliberate choices in how we diffuse this technology to the world, in the world, as a solution to the challenges of people and planet. Let me ask a question. This is, I'm just being the English teacher here. Do you think that the world implicitly includes the people and the planet? I feel like it does. So you don't need to repeat this kind of stuff, right? Good question. I'll talk about it. I will talk about it. Since we've become an AI stream at this point. The choices we make about where to apply our scarce energy, compute, and talent resources. By the way, I always hate this. You know what this means, right? Talent resources means people. It means people. They hate saying the word people, right? They despise the word people. It's human resources or talent, right? People wouldn't, it's not a word that is ever used. Look at this. This is the socio-technical issue we need to build consensus. Another thing that you probably do not notice, but I do, is, and this is just a communication, I don't want to call it a tip. It's a thing I'd like you to think about. Because often you're creating confusion and with the use of a verb, which is a very common verb. Can anyone guess what the verb is? It's the word, or the, what do you call it? The infinitive version is to be, meaning is. When you write, check the number of times you use an is, like is or be or are, right? There's an is here. Let's see, there's another is up here. And there's a couple other is's in here. But the problem with this is that it's better for you to use like an action verb, right? So let me just find the other is here. This is the engineering sophistication we must continue to build. You should just say, we must continue to build this. You don't need the is here, right? Or we will prioritize this, right? Or we've got, you might as well say that, not is. So I'm not saying all is bad, but it's a way, it's often a sign that you're not sure what you're saying. Ultimately, the most meaningful measure of progress is the outcomes for each of us. It will be a messy process of discovery. Will be, is, and be, like all technology and product development always is. Another is. Computing throughout its history has been, another is, about empowering people and organizations to achieve more. Oh, by the way, you probably do not realize this, but this is this is hardcore Microsoft talk right here. This is a literal slogan inside Microsoft. Okay, I'm gonna see if I can find it. It's like on posters and shit inside Microsoft. I'm not joking at all. I think I can find it. Yeah, here it is. This is the Microsoft motto right here. Oh, you can't see it. Oh, I wasn't showing you my the text. Sorry. We empower the world. Microsoft's mission is to empower every person and every organization on the planet to achieve more. So whenever you see the word achieve more, empower and achieve, that's a Microsoftism, a classic. So this is right out of the company motto. Okay. Now again, you've probably seen that, but you may not have stuck in your brain. But like in Microsoft, we see that phrase a lot. So that's why I wanted to point it out. AI must follow. If we do that, it can become one of the most profound waves of computing yet. This is what I hope is. See, okay, here's the question. This is what I hope we will collectively push for in 26 and beyond. This is what I hope. Instead, you could just write, I hope we do this together. Instead, this is what I hope. Why are you doing that? Right? Again, I'm not saying I disagree with the meaning here. I do agree with the meaning of everything. It's just bad writing. It's just bad writing. And the problem is this is the way corporate talk works. But it did not get, it did not get well received, right? Max Mad, see ya. Thanks for joining us. I think corporate writing nonsense has something to do with social engineering, making the reader have a gaslight themselves to agree on everything. That, I think you might have something there, right? I think you might have something there. I'm trying to think of the best communicator I ever knew of. From Microsoft, it was probably Steven Sinofsky. He wrote a paper so brilliant and so simple. It was strategic that everyone could read it and understand exactly why we were doing what we're doing. And I still think about, and that was over 20 years ago. I still think about that paper today. It was just beautiful. I could show you that paper and you would be totally like, oh, it would not be, it's not like this at all. It spoke to you in a very human way, right? Without trying to make it like simplified. So just the context, it was about a change in business strategy. So at the beginning, before the paper, I was like, this is a bad idea. I don't know why we're doing this. I read the paper, which wasn't long. I read it, and when I was done, I was like, oh yeah, this totally makes sense. This is like the right thing. I totally, like, I understand why it's a risk, but I get why you're doing it and why it seems to be the right thing. And so I was on board. So it was a very successful document. Anyway, this kind of writing's not good. It's classic for corporate talk. For good communicator, I think Steven Sinofsky is good. There's a guy who figured out how much the density of the Earth. I forgot his name at the second. He wrote a really good. It's like in the 1800s. Bill Clinton's actually a really good speaker. He's clear. People like the way he speaks. Who else is really good? Well, I shouldn't bring in politics. I don't think anyone really in politics is extremely good as a speaker. Not that I've seen. I can think of lots of wild examples that I'm not saying you like a person or not, but like Bill Clinton is my example of someone who's just very clear. But yeah, this is not a great document. This is not a great document. And I do wonder who actually wrote it, right? I'm not saying he didn't write it, more like who contributed to it. So I'll give you an example since we're talking about this. And this is a true story, by the way. Bill Gates, let me find it for you. Have you heard of this guy, Bill Gates? Gates. What was it? What do you call it? He had a column. He had a column, they call it. Okay, so this is back when Bill Gates was the CEO of Microsoft, and this is in the 90s, okay? Like late 90s. And he had a column in the New York Times where he occasionally posted something. And this was toward the holidays, Christmas time. And I think it was the New York Times. And we had the newspaper like on our atrium, a big room in our building. This is building 16 of Microsoft. And this would have actually almost certainly have been 1996 or 7, one of those 2 years. And I read the article, and I went to my manager. I said, "Oh, I read Bill's article, and I liked it. It was doesn't matter what the topic was. It was about technology." And I thought it was interesting. I said it was very well written. I liked it. And my manager gave me this. I'm not gonna say his name. He's a really good guy, but he gave me this look like. I'm gonna try to do that for you. He gave me this look like. You understand? Like, oh, young child, I'm gonna reveal things to you. And he said, "Follow me." And I went to his office, and he brought up his email. And so in Microsoft, especially these higher level execs, they have a TA, technical assistant. Okay. And I do remember the name of the TA involved here, but Bill had one. And so these are people who are actually pretty smart, and like, you know, they're sort of with Bill all the time, all these meetings and things. And the TA, you know, people at Microsoft share their opinions with each other a lot on email. So the TA, anyone will share like, oh, you know, I use this software, and you'll email, you know, Bill's staff will email like, hey, this is what I thought about it. We could do better here. It's normal, right? And so this guy, during the holiday times, he said, you know, I was using this and this, and this is my thoughts, and he emailed it to Bill. You need to make that very clear. It was the TA who emailed it to Bill. I saw that email because my manager somehow had this email, right? How, I don't know. But email constructed from the TA to Bill, okay? And then I brought the New York Times article, and it was like the exact thing. I mean, I can't promise you it was exactly the same text, but like it was the same thing. And so, you know, that made me think like, wow, he's not writing the article. At least he didn't in that time. So these kind of things happen. My point there is not to, you know, criticize him so much. It's more that the text we see is constructed sometimes in weird ways from executives, okay? And I don't know how this text was constructed. I doubt it was written by just the CEO. Probably at least other people had input into it. But in any ways, it's not great text. Nick says, best ideas are always simple. When you hear pretentious, bombastic speeches, usually they are just covering emptiness and lack of ideas. Yeah, I agree with you. You know, I try to be simple in the way I express things, and that's taken me some effort. It is hard to be simple. It takes time to construct what you need to say. And I think this, I'm gonna go back to it for a second so you can see. It's just not great. And you can just see by how many people have posted on it, they don't like it. And I think I watched a couple of videos, people reviewing this line by line. And it's a lot of words for not much. And it doesn't sound like a human wrote it. Right? Now, I believe a human or humans did write it, but they all found it to be almost like AI slop. So, I don't know. I just wanted to share that because AI, it is going to be a big deal. I'm not going to lie. This year, I absolutely do expect AI to have more of an impact on lots of things. And 2026 is going to be a year. Now, Cube mentioned earlier in the chat that, you know, let me see if I can find his comment. Yeah, let me find here. I found it. Funny thing is, the exponential progress we saw at the start of the AI boom has already stopped. Mostly improvement is slowing. I mean, I feel like it is slowing, though right now there's so much exciting stuff happening, it's hard to see the slowing. And some things seem to be accelerating. Like if you're into the generation of video, audio, and images, it seems to be accelerating, right? Whether that's a good or bad thing, I don't know. But that part seems to be accelerating. In terms of like real world understanding, meaning things that are productive for me, it's not accelerating. I give you a perfect example. I really imagine that AI would be more helpful for me at this stage in the construction of my, what do you call it? My content, scripts for my videos or my documents. Now, before I go on, sorry, there's something, a piece of dust floating in front of me. I don't use AI to create my text or my scripts, and I'm not going to. If you ever see any of the documents I write on drawing tablets, they're filled with spelling errors and mistakes. That is my evidence that they are in fact. Hi Eddie, good to see you. Good to see you. I think we're on the x raised to the 1/2 curve, not to the x. Interesting. So since not everyone knows, let me see if I can find x to the. I'm gonna see if I can plot this via Google Cube so people understand what your comment is. So that's the x to the 1/2, and let's do everyone x to the 2. So yeah, so look at the starting here, right? That's shooting up like this. That's what some people think is happening, and Cube is saying he thinks it's like this. Okay, and notice there is improvement, but it's not bending up. It's just kind of going. Lots of improvement at the early part, which is where we're at. Where are we right now? We're not here. We're beyond that. We seem to be. I think we're here, right? Now, how much? Okay, sorry, let me back up for a second. It gets harder for improvements to impress you. So you see this line that goes up like, oh, sorry, you can't see it. Oh my gosh, I'm so stupid. Okay, here we go. This is x to the 1/2, okay? And this is x to the half, x to the 2, to x squared, right? Sorry about that, Hanem. I got confused. So we were here, now we're here, but there's something hidden here because the line is going up linearly, but what's it mean? So there's lots of things in the world where you can, it takes a lot of effort to get to the 80% level, but to make it 10% better, it's another 80% or another 100%. Like, it's harder to make a bigger difference, even though technically things have gotten much better. Like, and what I'm saying is the models could become twice as good, but they wouldn't seem twice as good in your usage. They would be like, they'd seem like 25% better. Does that make sense? Right? There's that diminishing returns, even though you're spending more money and time and energy doing it. And that's another thing that might be happening. I expected at this point, I'd be able to use AI in much more sophisticated ways. How I wanted to use AI was, I'm gonna I gotta write down a note because I want to show psyop anime. We're gonna take a look at that. What I expected was I'd be able to talk about a topic like, I don't know, initial activation force, and AI would help me move segments of what I'm talking about around and help me organize it, and then help me figure out what I wanted to write, right? And do sort of refactoring of my document a little bit so that it was easier for me. Can't do any of that. It's good at sort of weird, easy, sometimes incorrect summarization, but helping me structure my thoughts, it's not good at it at all, right? Yes, I'll zoom out. Yeah, terrific idea. So you see, it's always going up, but it's going up less and less and less. right? Every time. So it's just, again, really diminishing returns. And take a look at x squared. Now, you have to understand, the reality of the world is nobody believes anything works like this forever, right? Because there are natural limits to what you can do, right? There's not enough energy or mass or whatever. So nothing can go like this forever, right? The reality, there's a boundary that you will hit, a limit, okay? So yeah, AI's, here's another thing I want AI to do is I wanted to be able to, so sometimes I record my videos and it takes hours of recording. 20-minute video is like 3 hours recording. And I try to make sure that I'm talking the same way, but in the morning my voice sounds different than at night. And sometimes my voice is very like, I don't know how to say it, it's like tight. My throat is like constricted. I feel like I can barely get any volume. And I've often wanted AI to help me with my voice, not to make it better, but to make it consistent within a video. Can't do that. Cannot do that. I wanted to be able to take a script and then have the AI voice it as me, not because I wanted to give it to you as me, but because I could use that as an estimation for how long the video is going to be, right? So I can think about where I'm going to chop off sections, right? Maybe it'll get there, but I was really hoping we'd be much further along than now. I would say this is about me, not, in other words, not for every human. The vibe coding thing has been fantastic for me. I am loving the vibe coding. Look, and I have no shame in saying that. Again, but I have 30 years of coding experience. So for me, vibe coding is like, I get to use my brain and not have to deal with some of the bookkeeping. Lots of coding is like bookkeeping, right? I don't need to do that. But I'm still watchful of what it creates. So productivity for me has been increasing. So vibe coding has been great. Dealing with creating content, it's been a wash. So I'm going to pick on Copilot, for example. So I actually pay for Copilot. I pay what, $200 a year for Copilot. And I don't even touch it. Every time I use it, I'm disappointed. It does not do anything of interest to me. I keep trying, but it doesn't, I don't really need it to remind me of things. I don't need it to do a lot, actually. Okay, Cube says, reminds me some YouTubers only record a specific time of day because it sounds off when they edit it. And yeah, that's what I do, actually. Sorry, I don't go quite that far. I wanted to, but it's hard for me to. Sometimes I just want to do things at night. I'm in the mood. So what I do is I will try to make sure I record it in one session. So that is, at least my voice is more consistent. Even then, at the beginning of a 3-hour session, if you ever talk for 3 hours, you start differently than you end, right? Like you can start with a lot of energy and then you talk for 3 hours and like you'll start talking with less energy. So I have to actively work. That's another thing I wanted. I want AI to, I don't know, it sounds silly. I wanted AI to re-energize my voice a little bit, right? So that I'm talking, with a little more energy. So I have to be conscious of it. But sometimes, you're just sick or it's late and you just wish AI could just, inject some energy into your voice. So it's been an interesting journey this year. Am I looking forward to anything for AI this year? More vibe coding for sure. More vibe coding. Image generation, I think we're going to revisit this topic. I'll tell you why. We did a little bit of image generation stuff on one of the streams, and I think there's probably some amount of image generation people are going to be more okay with. So for example, the question I posed was like, okay, so if I ask the AI to add film grain to my photo, is that unethical? And I think people said, well, that seems okay, right? And I said, okay, what if I asked AI to scale a photo down, right? Would that be well, that seems okay. Definitely what seemed not okay was to create something, like create a picture of something based from text, in someone's style especially. But then I thought it was harder when I said, okay, what if I drew something, right? And I just, give me an example. I draw something, let's say, highly detailed, really, really nice. Not that I'm capable of doing that. And it's like a reference, like a body, right? Front and back. And then I draw small sketches, like just really rough sketches of like, okay, the character's in this position. Now, take the pose I made and transfer my beautiful rendering to be in that pose. How unethical is that? Because remember, I didn't take anyone else's content. Like I drew the original material. Would you be okay with that? Some people will still say no. Some people do say no. They say no because the model itself is trained unethically, right? But I think it's but I think we will evolve our sensation or our feelings about what will work in some of these other cases. Wired says, but it had to use other images to train still. Well, yeah, it did. That's the trick here. But like, would you at least admit, Wired Nika, that it doesn't feel as bad as me saying, just come up with an interesting character and draw it in this style? Would you agree that that's worse than me drawing something and then me saying, okay, put my character in this pose? Okay. Now, we're gonna keep talking. Let's see. Oh, it's fantastic, Cube. Terrific point here. There's a company I saw recently who made people a bit angry at them by taking all their artist content and are using AI to generate new images instead of the artist. See, that seems bad, right? That seems bad. Notably, they didn't fire anyone or rip out their art team for this. Okay, so they're still keeping the people. Okay, let me ask a question. If you were an artist, so one of my hopes was I could draw a keyframe, like here's my character, animate the middle, because like I don't want to spend a lot of time animating. I'm not animating. I'm not interested in doing it. Is that unethical? I don't know. I mean, not unethical. Let's just say, does it make you feel bad? Does it feel weird or not? Remember, I am the creative source between both, right? I think people are going to shift. I think people who think it's weird now are going to be like, oh, okay. I want to show you something that I'm not going to play the audio. I will play the video because YouTube hates it when I play audio. I'm going to show you something that I found, which is blowing up. And it's on YouTube, and it's a channel called Psy-Op Anime. Now, I'm going to give you a warning. This has political overtones and features people you may not like. Okay? So I'm just going to give you that warning. But it is AI generated. So apparently they hired artists to draw certain reference images and then used AI to animate it. Okay? So I'm just going to go ahead and play it for you. Again, it features depictions of people you may not like and is political, but I don't think it's too bad. I'm not endorsing any political position. I am merely going to show you. And I'm going to ask, would you watch something like this? Like if it was a full movie. Psy-Op Animes. Pretty new account. Okay. Again, I'm not going to play the audio because YouTube hates it, but we can see this. Okay, Psy-Op Anime, and I showed this on Discord, so I'm just gonna play it, and I think it is clear that it's AI. I mean, there's no doubt about that in my mind, right? But they said they used some original artwork that they hired people to do. Now, someone pointed out, you can see obvious mechanical errors. Yeah, totally true, right? If you look at it, you can see, by the way, the voice, even though you see English text, everyone's speaking in Japanese. Okay? This account is blowing up, by the way. And the music is absolutely cool. But it hasn't, I mean, look, I'm just going to speak about this. It has a good style, right? Like it's that 90s anime look, which, you know, I love the 90s anime look. Okay? I absolutely do. I like the kind of, I mean, it's a bit overdone, the kind of bloom filter they have going on there. This is the, I told you, you might not like some of the characters being depicted here or the topic. But it does look good. I think we have to admit that. Yes, there are lots of AI artifacts. But look, this is the future. And when I say future, what I'm saying is people are going to be creating more content like this. Okay? And so that is, and this channel is, it's only got 25,000 subscribers, but it's growing. And look at the comments, right? I unironically would love to see this a full-blown anime. I don't want sorry. Do not stop. Keep the series going. This is my new favorite 90s anime series. This is how, well, I agree with this. I would watch news like this every day if it came in this format. But yeah, my point is people are liking it. People are liking it. Okay, let's see. It doesn't work that way. They steal art to create models. AI can't recreate your image without a model. Sure it can. Well, actually, let's Zalami, you don't like it at all. Okay, let's test it out. Let's test it out. Now, let me just go off another window. Give me a second. We're going to test something out. Okay, I'm going to take a picture I drew without AI, and then we're going to see if it can do, I think it can do a decent job. Let's see. So first of all, let me get to Google Nano Banana. Okay, give me a second. Give me a second. Let's just take a quick look. Okay, and Google's AI thing confuses me. New chat. Okay. Hi, Eddie Valros. Thanks for joining us. I suppose one angle is it's still bad if they actually aren't stealing and are only using properly licensed. Still can put people out of jobs. It's true. Like, it is true, but we can find a balance. We can find a balance. And we'll do some other, I'll show you some other tests I did here where I'll try to be open about how I use AI with you all, okay? I'm gonna create an image. Sorry, I'm gonna show you what I'm doing here so you're not mystified by it. Okay, and I'm gonna go on my Discord. I'm gonna find an image I drew. Remember, I draw meme art. I've given up on drawing real things, okay? Because I just want to draw frogs, okay? And memes. Hang on a second. Where's my darn... I can't even find my own art here on my own Discord. Can you believe it? Art showcase. Okay, art showcase. Here we go. Okay, I know I have my own stuff in there. Okay. Let's find it. Okay. Might as well be controversial. And so I did this meme, and let me just show you what it is. It was Trump bans high IF pens, okay? Like, okay, so I drew everything here, okay? Not a great picture, not even one of my best memes, but is it unethical if I ask this character to make the character cry? right? Memes are the DNA of the soul. Okay, so we're gonna do it live. Oh, good point. Good point. They might actually recognize and optimize. That is a fantastic point. Okay. It did a pretty good job, actually. Now, actually, I mean, look how it still kept the primitive look. Kind of didn't understand that this section is above the character. So there's tears on his hands, which is hilarious. But how bad is this? How about if I just use this as a reference to recreate it? I mean, I'll redraw this in this new shape. Actually, pretty decent job, right? Actually did a decent job. Here's another case. For this one, I think we're gonna try Google Flow. I think Google Flow will do this. Google Flow. They can't buy all the arts they stole. If they tried, it would cost. When commercial license. See, the reason I think, by the way, the genie is out here. It's been out for a long time because of search. Because remember, I worked on effectively search at Microsoft. It doesn't work without trawling the internet for content, and not just text. I mean, we have a multimedia archive. Everyone does, Microsoft, Google, of content already that was required just to create video thumbnails and thumbnails of things. So like, they've been creating these things for a decade, right? Okay, we're gonna see this. Again, it's just a test. I think Google. I'll show you another example and we'll ask, is it unethical? Ingredients to video. Yeah, that's what we want. We're on a new project. Hang on a second. Make sure nothing crazy is in there. Okay. I think I want, can I just paste something in here? No? Can I add something to this? Oh, I guess I cannot. There's no, no, let's try this. Let's try, oh God, I don't even know. I found a bunch of memes, but that's not what I want. Hang on a second. Give me a moment. I don't think Flow can do it. I don't think Flow can do it. We'll just try something else for a second. I think Grok will do it. Grok has some kind of animation feature, which I've used for something else. Imagine. Oh wow, that's you don't want that. Okay, I'm not finding what I need here. Anyway, you get the idea. Like, oh, I did have something I want to show you with Google. It's actually this stuff I was playing with. I wanted to do a. This is actually one of the examples here. I wanted to do a stream where we talk about what would a tablet look like? Like I'm trying to design something, right? And this was not for the purpose of actually creating a tablet. It was more like, could AI be used for this kind of product design where I sketch out something, right? I drew this. You see how primitive it is? And then I said, render it as a concept, right? And I just explained that the blue part is supposed to be an LCD, as if an LCD panel is built into the screen. Came out with this. Okay? Now, would a tablet like this actually work? That's not the point. My point was, could I use it to create things? Now, is this unethical? Is this weird? I would never share this, but like, did it help me ideate? Yeah, I think it did. Let's see, not referring to big models here, but for example, when I mentioned previously, a company simply taking all their art teams, all the art their teams have been drawn over the years, which they do own. Right, they already have the rights to it. Yes. Here's another thing I did. Let's see if I can find it for you. Yeah, this is one. Okay. So this is something I think people will actually do. You see this picture, it's not all white. There's a little bit color at the bottom. And I said, make it a piece of felt. And Google came up with this. Right? It's not a photo, really. I mean, but it's trying to be one. And then I said, oh, I have my logo, which I drew. And I said, okay, take that logo and cut it out of the felt. See, here's the logo. You can barely see it. Let me ask you a question. Where does this stand? Right? Now, the reason I bring this example is this is me using AI more like a filter, like a Photoshop filter, right? Like I drew a shape. I've asked it to put in something. It doesn't reference any style specifically, right? I am the origin, the author of at least two parts of this, the logo and the colors, right? Anyway, I think this is the kind of stuff we're gonna see AI bleed into, where people are using it as elements or filters or additions to what they're doing, not just wholesale replacements, right? And that has a different feel for a lot of people about what they'd be willing to use AI for, right? And I think we'll renormalize. Let's see. Perfect for use on scams, Kickstarter. Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. I'm sure lots of people are, well, I'm sure they are scamming, yes. Because it doesn't take you much effort to get these things out. Remember, you can just sketch it, and with these tools, you can also like selectively edit it. Like, oh, you know, this, remove this element of it, right? What type of nibs exist? The rough division of nibs is plastic and felt. Felt is good if you want more texture. That really is, there are other specialty nibs, but they're pretty rare. Plastic and felt are the two choices you get these days. Salami, I don't even care if the data sets were completely only public domain content. I've known. Yeah, I think Salami, there's lots of people who aren't gonna, I sympathize, and to some degree I'm actually in that world myself of, I don't like seeing, first of all, I definitely, when I see AI art, it cheapens things for me. Does that make sense? Like it makes me think of it as a low effort thing. So I'm just forgetting the entire public domain stuff. It just makes me think, oh, well, it's a low effort thing, right? Now, if someone spent a lot of time with the AI, I'm not sure how I'd feel about that, but there's a lot of slop being produced, which I just do not like. But I think there are elements to the creative process where it can help without being generative, right? So, for example, in my case, I'm recording a lot, I have transcripts of my videos that I'm reading when I'm recording the audio. And here's an example of AI which is not generative, but would help me. I would like to know when this, I would like it to warn me when sentences are getting too long for my breath, right? Because sometimes you write more than you can actually say. You have to like take a breath. That would be helpful for me. I'd like it to estimate how much time it's gonna take for me to say it, right? That's a good thing AI could actually do. I'd like AI to repair my voice when, you know, I had a sudden, maybe a cold doesn't sound quite as normal. Can you use AI trash instead of doing actual product design? No, it will never work right. You need brains. You need brains to plan shapes, materials, design. AI can steal. I think you are right there, Nick. There's never going to be a case where, when you want quality stuff, you can just rely on AI to do it. Right? Right now, there are a lot of cases where we see AI replacing, you know, taking the full role. But I do think there's a balance where we can be creative and use AI for some of it. Now, again, some of it people will not like and not appreciate. Some of it, I think, is pretty tame. Like my example about filters, right? If you're using Photoshop today and the remove feature, that's built on AI, right? I use it to remove, let's say, when I'm taking photos of my tablet, sometimes there's a, you know, I don't know, my phone's on the table. I have it remove my phone, so it just looks like a normal table. So, I don't know, lots of AI stuff happening. Let's see what else we got here. Okay, so I'm just hanging out now. I got through all my topics, so I'm just gonna chat as I take a look at Reddit and see if there's anyone who needs help. Brand affiliate from Gaomon. Anything interesting here? Let's take a look at that Wacom. Someone did ask a good question, which I commented on. I want to share it with you, which is the Cintiq 16 2025. Oh, geez, Zalami has a. That's the thing. Every new technology is being labeled as AI, as a marketing term. I'm only referring to generate image. Yes, I understand. Thanks for clarifying, Salami. Yes. Yeah, you got a good point there. Things that we would not have used AI for before, meaning the word, are now just being labeled AI. Okay. And I see it being used ridiculously more and more. And one of the, I actually, okay, so I'm gonna have to put my face here. Okay, so when you're a product manager at Microsoft and other places, you learn how someone would say what this does, and then you learn how you would market it. Like you'd say it in a way that highlighted its possibilities. So give me an example. A normal person would say, you can draw with this pen, which is what you can do, right? But what would you put, say, on the box, right? Or in a blog post, you'd say, oh, this lets you draw smoothly and creatively. I mean, that's one notch better, okay? And then if you really want to Microsoft it up, right? You would say, this is a digital stylus that unlocks your potential to take your ideas and make them manifest in the world. I mean, you wouldn't say manifest. You would say, unlock your ideas in your documents and artwork. Okay? So you understand the progression of insanity here. And you start smiling when you say it because you just know it sounds like so crazy. Now, so when you work in that world, almost anything someone hands you, you can start just spinning up all this nonsense. It's kind of like that scene in Wolf of Wall Street where the guy says, sell me this pen. I can't remember what the response was, but you know, the idea is like you just have to be able to creatively think, and you do it so often you can just come right back and say something insane. And that's the skill you gain at Microsoft as a product manager, right? You can just describe things in these totally crazy ways. And so that's what I see happening with AI. So what you're gonna see next is, and please welcome, don't be angry at me, this is kind of a joke, okay? They're gonna say, so actually, you know, the pointer's under the tip of the pen, like the mouse pointer. And then if you tilt the pen, the mouse pointer, you still want like at the tip, you don't want it to like move. So you want, that's called tilt compensation. And so in the Discord, I was like, oh, here's how in today's world, how would Wacom explain this feature, right? They'd say that the pen or the tablet is using AI to, or this is kind of a hybrid between, you know, everyone and Microsoft. They would say, oh, the tablet is taking the electromagnetic data from the pen and building a digital twin that's running in the tablet. And using that twin, it's able to precisely estimate the how you're holding the pen and make sure that the pointer is accurately, like, you understand, like they'd say they were running a model and simulating and all that, when all they're doing is just some, like, you know, interpolation math or something. I wonder when the marketing teams will realize that AI in marketing is a red flag, or maybe it's just pandering to the investors to begin with, not the customers. Oh, good point. Good point. Basically, so basically the funding, interest and funding isn't going anywhere else, right? You have to have an AI pitch. So they can't not use the word, unfortunately. And this almost certainly is affecting Microsoft because, okay, I'm glad you brought this up. I'm going to add something to this, but let me continue my thought. Usually when you get these big things, the entire company kind of pivots and everyone's told you have to do something with AI, okay? Which they have been told as far as I understand. So everyone's got to have AI. They've got to have a strategy for AI and they have to have it like whatever. So all those other things, like our customers are complaining that the thing crashes or it's too slow. They're still on the list of things to do, but they're kind of just deprioritized because a customer issue that doesn't, that affects 1% of the population that really sucks will never get attention over this thing's going to double our profit or whatever, right? And I'm exaggerating. Microsoft folks know I am exaggerating, but you get the general idea. So I think it's going to be a while before marketing teams are allowed to not mention AI, right? And the investors expect it because there's nothing else the companies can do that would guarantee them like multiple, 100% growth or whatever. It's very difficult. Let's see, Dave X GraphX is literally producing almost fully with AI assistants interpreting his sketches. Dave X GraphX. Oh, let's just take a look at this guy. Now, if customers really start complaining, they will change their messaging. Yeah, I found somebody on Twitter. I'm always scared to look at Twitter. Dave X GraphX. Oh, is it this guy? I found it from Dave X GraphX on Twitter, or X. I'm gonna keep it in English since I cannot read French. Characters. Is this who you're talking about, Nick Tyler? Or Zalami? Probably I would not have guessed AI was involved in this, to be honest. Well, to be fair, I can't tell which ones you're referring to. Nick says, oh, that was Eddie Valros. Yeah, okay, this is it. So these were all AI. I wouldn't have guessed. I would not have guessed one bit. some of these just don't have any obvious sign that AI was used. Not to my eyes, anyway. Like this one, for example. I wouldn't have guessed. Let's see, Nick says, they're very slow. They were investing billions hoping for a big boom effect. Now they're slowly starting to understand that customers and creators hate it. Well, customers can feel lots of ways, but like, you know, they're going to be motivated by how people spend. So the question is like, how do people, I mean, this is just the raw truth of it. Like, if it's going to change spending habits, they'll be affected by it. If it's not, then they're just going to keep on doing it. So right now, I think there's no incentive for them to stop, even if people actively hate it, right? Because that hate, like, let me give you an example. Let me ask it this way. How many people will stop using something? Like, how many people have left Adobe, really, because of any AI involvement? To be fair, AI art as placeholders isn't okay either. It's not the same as using other people's references and building your own art from it. And corporos tend to make placeholders. That is true. Things that are placeholders sometimes just end up being the final thing. That is absolutely, I have seen that. I've absolutely seen that. Dell is already starting to realize overusing AI terms is a detriment. Are they, how, can you point to something that says that? Hey Nim, I'd like to see, if there's an article, I'd like to see what, like, are you talking about their branding or for something, or their written material they published? Yes. Thanks for clarification. I was wondering what exactly, but that makes sense. I discovered something. I'm gonna write it in Notepad for a second. I didn't realize this until today, that LWK means low key. This was a discovery in the Discord today. Windows has been bleeding market share to macOS and Linux for quite a while. Well, okay, good point. Good point. How can I say this? That is obviously a negative for Microsoft, where Windows share has been bleeding. Yes. Here's why there's a different game being played now. Let me try to explain it this way. So I'm drawing a graph that's going from time, like old to new, like today, okay? So Microsoft is organized in different business units, okay? There was a time where really, when you think of all the money, the profit, the Microsoft, I'm simplifying, but it's the rough idea, that all the money Microsoft was making came from two sources, okay? Again, I am simplifying. Microsoft Office and Microsoft Windows. And I think at first it was just Windows. There was no, remember, Windows preceded Office, obviously. So Microsoft Windows made all the money, and that money was used to build other stuff like Office. Then Office started making, I think, more money than Windows, right? And it's been in the company thinking for a long time that you have to have multiple sources of revenue coming in. So nothing I'm saying is, unique to Microsoft or anything. I'm just going to point out something that for a long time, I think we've known that there can be shifts here. And I bet they are not as panicked by Windows being used less, because in that time frame, so many other revenues have come up. So for great example is Azure. Azure Cloud is a lot of money. I think it may exceed Windows at this point. It may exceed Office at this point, right? or however they're dividing things. But they probably don't care. Sorry, I shouldn't say that. They probably do care, but like it's not where it used to be a tragedy if Windows share declined. Now it's like, oh, well, so like as long as you're using, you're paying your monthly or your subscription price for Microsoft 365, well, Microsoft's getting their money, right? Now, as for the Copilot thing, that's supremely confusing. I would agree that it's irritating and confusing. And look at this. I just noticed it since I'm looking at Cube's comment. Notepad has a Copilot icon. I get to write, rewrite, summarize, make shorter, make longer, change tone, change format. Look at this. I can make it poetry. Okay, I'm going to try this. We're going to try it. Though I do want to zoom in, though. Oh, also, we have Markdown editing. That's a new one they slid in on me. Where is zoom? There's a zoom here. I guess I can do it here, though. Zoom in is Control Plus. Okay, we'll do little Control Pluses. I wish this was a little easier. Windows will sorry, let's take a look at the next comment then. Windows will dominate in PC OS market for a long time anyway, but a numbers mobile device. Yeah, mobile is where it's all. Listen. I'm gonna be really honest with you. When in the 90s, when someone said, "Oh," I mean, literally, we had presentations. People said, "People are gonna be living on their phones." I'm like, "You're crazy. No one will be using their phones like that." I mean, it was crazy because no device was like that. We just had like these old Star Trek Motorola's, so we're like, "What are you talking about?" And no one had internet, by the way. But pretty quickly you realize, oh yeah, they really are living on their devices. So, I really feel like we maybe, I don't know. I flirt with the idea of like one day I'll just have a phone or multiple phones or iPads or whatever, and then I'll just connect them to my pen displays and use it that way. Like I won't really have an additional computer the way I used to. Windows will bleed for however long it is still paid. Most people I know download Windows 11 from I don't even know what Massgrave is. I've never heard that word until today. Not in this context, anyway. The new Notepad is really sucked. It's so much slower. They made it complicated. Notepad. Yeah, they did. They could have done other things to help, but this was surprising, right? Are lots of people really? I didn't know that. Is it mostly younger people? I believe you. I just don't, remember I'm 50 something years old and like all my friends are, 40s, 50s. So they all have computers. I mean, we all work for Microsoft, right? So I don't know what's happening with younger people. Though my mom is addicted to her iPad, that is for sure. I think she uses that way more than her PC actually. It was a statement by Dell, head of products, yes. Okay, got it. I'll take a look then. I'll take a look at it. Okay, so let's go here. I want to show you. We're going to try this experiment with, yeah. Let's see if the Notepad does. Let's try these AI features in Notepad. I'm going to get a piece of text, right? So this is text from an actual document that I wrote. And I'm gonna paste it in. It's on forced proportions, okay? So let me view control minus of that. Okay, so let's just see. Change tone. I don't want to change the tone. Let's change the format to marketing. Enhance your writing with Copilot. Okay. I'm just reading the text here. I'm trying to compare it. Forced proportions eliminates distortion. not bad. Actually, I would take some of these improvements. Let's try to change this to be more casual. And I guess I'll regenerate this. Did I need this feature in Copilot? No. Who the hell is writing documents like this in Notepad? It's not bad. Honestly, it's not bad. Massgrave is a free Windows key activation service and Microsoft doesn't care. It's hosted on GitHub. Oh my god. It makes anything Windows related basically free for personal use at least. Interesting. If anything, it's probably helping them to have this exist. It might be. It might actually be. You know, Microsoft sometimes exists in this weird state with I'm not gonna say the word pirated, but like unlicensed copies of Windows. So here's a great example. When we're doing security patches, one of the questions that came up with is the security patches, should they go to pirated versions, unlicensed versions of Windows? Because, you know, wouldn't you want to punish these people by making, you know, and the thinking was no, it was actually better for the, I know, sometimes, honestly, Microsoft's a good place, filled with good people, and I think this is a good example. And then people said, hey, no, actually, we're gonna send the security patches to everybody because it's better for everybody if every copy of Windows is secure. So even though they're not licensed, they get the patches. Now, I assume that's still in force. But the reason I point that out is, you know, to some degree, you realize this problem exists, but you just kind of like, you don't stress out about it every time. Activated products are totally safe because they use legit. Yeah, I think I detect sarcasm there, Hayden. Nick says, why, if you're only consuming content like watching YouTube and socials, iPad, Android, tablet is all you need. PCs are much more complex. Yeah. I don't know. I think maybe my background, because I used PCs for so long, I'm nervous about abandoning a PC. Because I always feel like it's more powerful, you know? Is Copilot like a general purpose chatbot, or does it have purposeful? Well, I think the confusion is that there are multiple Copilots. There's the general Copilot service, which is what this is. There's also GitHub Copilot, which is a different thing about code. And I think there's another Copilot for Microsoft Dynamics or something. So that confuses me, actually. So this isn't bad. This isn't bad. I'm actually okay with this. I wonder what this does. Oh, it makes it one paragraph. Would I use this? I don't know. Oh, you were not being sarcastic. What the tool connects to the MS servers to scrape enterprise keys. That's why it seems pretty clear MS doesn't care about individuals using online. Oh wow, I wouldn't guess that. Okay, I need to get some water. I'll be right back. Okay, I am back. Let's see. Nick says, I'm not leaving PC too, but I see many older people are now using tablets all the time. While PCs, they're scared of them. I don't blame. I think you're right there. I see my mom using her iPad all the time, except when she needs to create something. So she does a little bit of digital art as well. And sometimes she makes some content for her friends. That's when she uses her PC. Or she does like, tax stuff or whatever. But yeah, because I have so many computers, it's like there's almost, I have 4 different computer desks. So there's kind of, I don't need to carry a tablet around a lot because there's always a computer sort of in front of me. But I use a tablet a lot. I'm starting to keep a tablet around all the time as kind of a media thing. So news, Discord is always on a tablet near me. And then I'm creating things on my desktop. Let's see, Android could also offer full control if it only didn't make bootloader unlock and root complicated. Eddie, what I would really just like if we could have our reliably expect tablets to work with Android and a better file management utility. Honestly, sorry, let me back up for a second. If Android behaved more like Chrome OS, but with better tablet support, I would probably be like, I wouldn't need anything else. In fact, I really do believe the jig is up. Is very soon. I do believe that. I do believe if you look at what I actually do, Chrome OS taught me this because I didn't really believe I would like Chrome OS. I thought that I got one mostly so I could just make sure I understood what the experience was like. I thought I wouldn't like it. I thought I would be irritated. It was so different from Windows. Actually, it made me realize, oh no, like what I need Windows for is not much. Right now, the only thing I actually need Windows for is I write code using Visual Studio and I play games and Clip Studio runs, will not run. Sorry, I'm not trying to. Clip Studio runs on Android, but my Windows machines have a lot more RAM than my Android machines, right? Like 92 gigabytes RAM, 32, 64, like, so now do I use all that? No, of course not. But 32 probably I might use. But I honestly could see, that's why I'm trying to shift to mini PCs first, just to get smaller form factors. But I could totally believe shifting to a mobile device. I would love to try that. iPad can't do it because iPad as a desktop OS doesn't work very well. The Samsung Android just doesn't have the UI features for me. It doesn't have a desktop mode. Is still not what I like. But I need to play around with its desktop mode more, the DeX, as well as I guess Android has a standard desktop mode now, or is going to have one. So I want to try that. Okay, yeah, I think I have been going on for 3.5 hours, which was not expected. I only really wanted to do it for about an hour or so. Have I tried Snapdragon Elite X? Yes, I have one. I have a Surface Laptop 7, which I like. I still don't advise people to get them. Actually, let me tell you what I like, then I'll tell you why I don't advise people to get them. Number one, it's quiet. It's the quietest Windows laptop I've ever had. I think once I have heard the fan turn on, but like just briefly, it was very quiet. Number two, battery life is very good. It is very good. Especially compared to over the Surface. Number three, it hasn't gotten hot at all. It's gotten very slightly warm, just a little bit, but nothing like, if you had a Surface laptop or a Surface Pro, those things would heat up even when you weren't using them. It was awful. The reason I don't think people should get them is I still think the driver situation will touch people a little bit. And number two is for lots of devices. I think tablets are now okay. Number two is there's still some weird little problems. Like Discord is a little more sluggish on that Snapdragon X Elite. I don't know why. I'm not sure it's the processor's fault, but it's probably Windows or something. It's gotten better, but it's still like there's some weird delay. So there's a long tail of software that probably is experiencing this. So I probably wouldn't recommend one unless you were just like doing Microsoft Office stuff. If you've ever been in post-USSR countries, 99% of PCs there were Windows, and they all were pirated, even in government cabinets and police. You know what? I didn't know that. Looking back, it doesn't surprise me. It doesn't surprise me. It does not surprise me at all. I've never used a pirated version of any software. Not that I can recall. I think I was offered one time, but I was working at Microsoft and someone said they can give me the Adobe. And I said, you know, I thanked them for the effort. I thanked them for the offer, and I said, you know, we charge people a lot to use our software. It just doesn't feel right for me to not have to pay for Adobe. But he was very nice. He was very nice. I do not have any kids. I do not have any kids, which is a good thing for the kids, because trust me, you don't want someone as irresponsible as me as a parent. Okay, folks, I think I'm going to wrap it up. My energy is diminishing, and like I said, I did go on a bit longer than I expected. This turned into a little bit of an AI stream, which wasn't necessarily what I had in mind, but it was really good to catch up with you all. And we'll be doing more streams. I'll be doing more content. I'm going to paste the Discord link just in case anyone hasn't seen it. I think everyone has, but just in case. I'll still be online if anyone needs anything. And yeah, I think I'll probably stream at least one more time this week, right? And we'll see. Let me know if you'd like me to address any topics or try something out. Right now, the big tablet thing I'm doing is just finishing up my evaluation of the Canvas Pro 24 Gen 3. And I'm looking forward to 3 hours, 30 minutes exactly, according to my live stream counter thing. Everyone have a great day. I'll be back soon. Bye.